People want to see what people look like. Well, then they should have been here at the actual live show. All right. Rob, since you're going to be a video call, let me go ahead and bring you on first if you're ready. All right. Sending now. Now, why is it broadcasting my video? That's going to eat a crap load of bandwidth. That's not going to work. Let me turn that off. Your video's turned off. Okay.
Hello.
Rob.
Hey. Hang on a second.
Okay.
I'm getting feedback.
Okay.
I have to turn the volume down on my Skype.
Okay. Alright, let me shrink that a little bit so I can still see the chat. Alright. Maybe. How can I resize this? Alright, this is... Alright, hang on. I don't need to see what I look like anyway. Let me put that over here. Alright, and open picture in picture. Choose source for picture in picture. Custom desktop. And from there, let's see how well this works. Bingo! Alright. Let me try that again here.
Yeah, I don't know how to adjust this shit, so.
That's fine, Rob. I think I've got it on my end here. What would be really nice if I could shrink that down. There it is. Alright, Rob, right here. Oh, actually he's right here. How's that looking out there, guys? It looks like it's... Looks kind of ghostly. Up there he is. Alright. It looks like on my end it's working.
Looks ghostly? Now. Oh, okay.
Now.
I always look that way though, Becky.
Alright, now. Alright. Now how the hell alright, how do I add people? Unsigned musicians, Deb, are you ready? Or if you need a minute, let me know.
You get to experiment, Jack.
It is that. Parker, why do you not have ops? Problem solved. Alright. Okay. And we'll be Skyping Deb in just a second. As soon as she lets me know that she's ready. Are you ready? Was that what the yep was? You're ready? And I'm just sitting here like a dumbass?
I can't hear Deb yet.
Okay. Alright. Now that's because I'm adding her to the call now. And it dropped your video.
Oh, okay.
Damn it. Will it not?
Hello.
There you are.
Oh, there's Deb.
There's Deb.
Oh, that's right.
What?
Oh. You can't do
You can't do video
a
with
three-way and video.
Deb, think about what you
I'm
just said.
Saying.
I'm not saying a word, Jack.
you don't have to, really. You really don't. I'm getting off to a great start here.
That was fucking epic.
Hey, you were worried about me, Deb.
That was epic.
Oh,
You can't do
it's been too long.
Okay. Guys, just so you know, you can't do a three-way in video. Deb from the Unsigned Musician Show was kind enough to help us out with that. Thank you.
We gotta have somebody to hold the damn camera, okay?
Jack's taping this.
Gosh almighty. You know, I gotta say, and I know I certainly speak for Rob and everybody else when I say this, Deb, you have been missed. It's so nice to have you here tonight.
Oh, I missed you guys too. It's just been so insane lately. I have gotten involved in some things that makes it hard for me to get here on Sunday night when major stuff's happening. So
Completely understandable. But I knew you weren't going to miss. We miss you too. But tonight we're definitely going to be talking about one of your favorite subjects. And I know I certainly, Rob, absolutely. Kind of, in one sense, we're kind of taking a trip down memory lane, and we're going to be talking about some of the garbage that goes on with the music industry, and updated with some recent events that have taken place in the last week. We're going to talk about the now tabled SOPA and PIPA bills, and how still, because I mean they've been tabled, they haven't been killed, so it's still a threat. As well as how they could potentially affect independent musicians and online broadcasting, and we'll also be I think we'll even talk about the whole mega upload thing a little bit, as well as the usual music industry garbage.
Oh, it even goes beyond the musicians and broadcasting. It goes to each and every person out there. If you're on Facebook, it puts you at risk.
Just because you might be streaming a video. Oh my God.
Yeah, if you post a link to a video, you could be in trouble. How ridiculous is that?
Yeah, exactly. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong, that even covers embedded videos, right?
Oh, yes.
So you just embed a video that somebody else uploaded.
My understanding is that if this law passes, if you post a link on Facebook and more than 10 people look at it within a 6-month period, you could be facing up to 5 years in prison. And the real irony of this is that, let's say it's a Michael Jackson song, you could get more time in prison than the man who was found to be responsible for Michael Jackson's death.
Go figure.
Yeah, exactly, Steve. Exactly. Thank you.
Yeah, I saw that. Did I grab that picture? There were some pictures that I did grab. Let me see if that was... I don't think I grabbed that one. There were some other ones that I did grab, though. I don't think that was it, though.
Guys, this is so serious. And another really, really powerful aspect of it, what would it do to the indie artist? How would they promote their music if everybody's afraid to share the links?
Absolutely. Who will? I mean, granted, you and I are gutsy enough, we probably would.
Hell, I don't have anything to lose. I've got direct licenses from every musician I play, so I don't have to worry about it. Although, the potential is there to be hassled, to be in need of a high-dollar attorney.
Right.
Just to prove that I'm not breaking the law. And it's not beyond them to do such things, as we well know. Of course, I could just get out of it by handing over a couple $1,000 and shutting them up. We know how it works.
Let's see, think
It's called
about...
a shakedown.
Yeah. Bend over and grab them. But,
a shakedown.
Rob? Did we lose one?
I'm just agreeing with her.
Oh.
Because he knows he can't get a word in, he's disagreeing. Love you, Rob.
I know, you're making good points, Deb.
Oh, thank you. Oh, it's scary. We're getting into just some of the scariest stuff I've seen yet. And they're not done.
Not even close. Okay, let's let's talk a little bit more about ancient history, and then I think I'd like to get into more recent events. The reason why the industry has such a high opinion from all three of us is particularly RIAA lawsuits. Just for it's the one case, Jamie Thomas. And the most recent figure is, hang on, I think that a judge had knocked the settlement down to $222,000 against her for 24 songs. Now, with that comes a caveat. I'll be the first to say that I believe copyrights are important. I believe copyrights should be respected.
Yes.
And I think I speak for all three of us when I say, yeah, she should be punished. She stole something. But the value of the alleged merchandise, at the most, you're talking a 99-cent download off of iTunes. So, all right, we'll say $24 worth of merchandise. And grant you some damages, but certainly not the ridiculous number that these geniuses have come up with.
Where else can you swipe something for 24 bucks and the penalty end up being over $1 million?
That was the original penalty. I'm trying to look it up, but I remember the number. The original penalty was $1.2 million that she would have had to pay. But of course, it's still going back and forth.
It's ridiculous.
And why did it go to court?
$24 worth of merchandise.
And why did it go forward? Because she didn't. They offered her a settlement. She told them to stick it up their ass. So.
No, because they wanted her to pay several $1,000s just to make it go away. And typically people will, even if they're completely innocent. They will fork over $3,000 or $4,000 and it all goes away. And the music industry's happy, the RIAA is happy, and the person who was accused got screwed. Yeah,
because they can claim victory. I'm dropping a link in the chat. I finally found it. This is Ray Beckerman's blog. Blah. We've spoken about him quite a bit on the show. This is as of August. The award was reduced once again to $2,250 per infringed work. 99-cent download. Is this not crazy shit?
It was how much per song?
$22.50.
Ridiculous.
Let me throw out another number. This is how insane the industry is, guys.
That's like mega markup there.
Big time. Really? For every $64 that the industry has spent prosecuting people for illegal downloads, they've gotten $1. So it's a 64-to-1 margin. Now, where I work at my job, if I took a loss like that, I would be sitting on a sidewalk with a cardboard sign saying, "We'll work for beer," because I wouldn't still be there.
Isn't it beautiful? And they wonder why the industry is struggling.
And you'd be happier.
I probably would be.
But, I mean, they've got mathematical geniuses running the show here, and they wonder why the industry is struggling. And then when you complicate it even further by the fact that they've got real competition out there, they've got independent musicians who make real music, and they sound like real people instead of everybody sounding like Britney Spears. Oh my God. And they can't figure out why they're not making the money, making the profit that they're used to seeing. I don't know.
Jeez, that's a hard one to figure out. Did I tell you guys my new motto for the show? I put it on my blog last night. I was bored. I was surfing like old 80s videos on YouTube, and I saw this in the comments section, and I adapted it, and I'm borrowing it. To all the plastic manufactured pop stars of today, here's a lesson for you. Go pick up an instrument, turn off the auto-tune, learn how to truly perform, go to a CD bar, entertain the few that are there, repeat that for a few years. Do it like the talented musicians you will hear on this show, real musicians with real instruments and real talent.
Very true.
So, and as far so, and the reason why as broadcasters we tend to be so cautious is because of the way the industry has conducted themselves just with the alleged piracy cases. And this is where we, if we're gonna go into talking about performance rights organizations, I know the three of us have one view, and there's somebody that asked me to please share his point of view on the show tonight. So when we get to that, remind me. Pete wasn't sure he could be here, but he had something that he just wanted. He just had a statement he wanted me to kind of put out there, just for food for thought. You know how Pete is; it's more of a brunch for thought.
Yeah. But yeah, Parker says there's no money in that though. When they go out and perform like that, I agree.
No, there's
because
not.
Usually they do it for fun, but when you sign with a label, I can't really say that there's money in that either unless you're one of the chosen few. And the odds are greatly stacked against you that you will be one of the chosen few. Look up Janice Ian, The Internet Debacle. She has been recording and working in the industry for about 35 years. And she said she has yet to receive a royalty statement that didn't show that she owed them money. She makes her money selling CDs and T-shirts and touring, rather than off of her actual albums or CDs. How sad is that? So, I'm inclined to say there's no money in that either.
Yeah.
Really.
And let me ask you this: is there a link to that on you? Because I know that I just pulled up the link for music industry off of your website. Is there a link to the Janice Ian story on yours by chance?
There probably is, but I'll gladly look it up for you. Hang on a minute if my computer will cooperate. Here we go. Oh, what did I just do?
Uh-oh.
I'll pull it up. It's a really good article. Yep, right here. On her website even. Very good.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Great lady. I'm going to pop this in chat. It's called The Internet Debacle, An Alternative View. And she's actually talking about illegal downloads and how harmful they are to the musicians. And her experience has been that they're good. They help.
The Internet Debacle, An Alternative View. And if you're watching this video, because on YouTube I'll just have a slideshow running while the audio is playing, I will have links to all the articles that we talk about on tonight's broadcast in the description bar, in case anybody listening to this afterwards would like to check it out. Parker makes a really good point in the chat. Sitting here looking at this now. Says, I really don't understand why anyone would sign with a label anymore. Anyway, they aren't necessary anymore. Rob, as a musician, your thoughts?
Oh, I agree totally. We don't need the labels anymore.
Well, just like you did, you can go it on your own and actually, oh my God, actually be able to do it your own way and be popular and doing it. And yeah, you might not hit the super duper deluxe big time, but you'll certainly be accomplished as an artist and as a musician.
But you know what? How many
Probably make
musicians?
just as much money.
Yeah, how many musicians really make it big? When you look at all of them that are out there, even all of them that are that are signed with labels,
Mm-hmm.
how many really make it and actually make money on it?
Not many. Um, a great example, we'll talk about him a little bit more later on, as our good friend Pete Berwick, who's been in the industry all his life.
Yep, over
And
30 years.
yeah, and easily has, he's probably recouped 1/5 of what he's sunk into his music career.
Yeah, and what a lot of people don't realize is when you sign with a label, they say, oh, we got to work on your image. Do something with that hair. You need clothes. Well, they sweep you off, and there
Doesn't
you go.
happen.
New wardrobe, new hair, the tour bus, your meals, all your expenses on the road, the hotels, all that stuff. You're living the good life. But a lot of them don't realize that that's coming out of their pocket. That's why so many of them don't make money,
Mm-hmm.
because they spend eternity paying that back. And if you're locked into a contract, well, that contract might be for so many years, but you're not going to see money from your music until all that money is paid back. So, yeah, it looks good. One musician that I know, Gary Jeffries, I cannot remember the name of the band now. Asphalt Ballet.
Okay.
They were like 8-time winners on Headbangers Ball
Mm-hmm.
on MTV or VH1, one of them. It was the wildest thing. I mean, these guys had made it. They're out on the tour bus. And, to look at them on MTV, they were rock stars, living the good life. Yeah, they were. These guys were making $147 a week. Each one of them got $147 a week. And he walked away from a major label, got on a Greyhound and went home. And before he made it big, he was a beautician. And he went back to cutting hair. And he said it was the weirdest thing to be standing there doing some lady's hair and watching yourself on television on MTV. So they look like they're they've made it big and they're living the good life, but no, so many of them aren't. In fact, I would think very few of them actually do.
Yeah. Let me ask you this: that $147, was that after meals and expenses? Was that strict take home?
I don't know, but either way, it sucks.
I mean, you're not
this is
talking a whole
guy
lot of
with
cash for sure.
family. What?
No.
I mean, either way, you're not talking a whole lot of cash. But I was trying to put it into perspective. I mean,
No, I mean, he's got a family to support back home.
Oh yeah, so yeah, they're gonna make it on that. Come on, cardboard condos don't cost that much.
No, I mean, you think about the mortgage and the utilities and food and clothes and medical. Yeah, $147 a week. Yeah, rock star.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Okay, want to hear a good example is
All it
TLC.
says it's all image.
Well, it is.
Yeah, at your expense. Even though you're not the one spending the money, you're not the one agreeing to all this. It's being done for you at your expense. Image. Yep.
And the label gives them advances too, eh? So
But all that has to be paid back. I'm looking at the
Yes.
chat.
Yep.
Crazy Sexy Cool was one of the biggest albums of the '90s. Group was called TLC. Okay, I thought you were talking about the Learning Channel. I was like, what? One of the biggest albums of the '90s, selling over 10 million copies. Each of the three members received $300,000 for that. The person who is making the image is making a good paycheck. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah. That's a real nice paycheck. That's sick. And one of the reasons that copyright, no, that BMI and ASCAP, the Performance Rights Societies, one of the reasons they came to exist was because way back when, was it Stephen Foster?
I think it was Stephen Foster.
Yeah, he died penniless. And they thought that should never, ever happen again. So this Performance Rights Society came to exist to protect the copyright owner. And it's so ironic that all of a sudden, you know, that these agencies are in place now to protect those copyrights, but the copyright owners still aren't really getting what they deserve. The industry's doing pretty well, but not the actual copyright owner. They might in other countries, but not in the U.S.
Right. And you're
because
talking
we do
as,
things differently here.
right. And you're talking as far as the performance rights organizations, right?
Right. Yep. But the labels, they're doing pretty good.
Yeah,
Although-
and we'll talk about the PROs a little bit more in a little bit, because like I said, somebody, I'll tell you who it was Pete Berwick, who is a BMI member, that does offer up a slightly different point of view as far as the PROs go. We've talked with Pete before, and we know that we respectfully disagree, but
Well, Pete is, I think, one of the very fortunate ones. There's a lot of people who don't see a penny. There's some that if they're lucky, they might get a check for 10 cents. And I'm not exaggerating.
no, I've seen that
Pete
too.
has been very fortunate.
Well, that, and he's worked his ass off for every, he's earned every, you know, like the lyrics of one of his songs, he's earned every scar. I just want to, let me just read this email that he sent me really quick, and we'll talk about it. Hey Jack, looks like you have a good show planned tonight with Rob co-hosting. I may tune in if I can, but I'm really not sure, as I'm humping hard to get my book done, and between intense training for some impending boxing contest, I am slammed here. As I was running my miles this morning, I was thinking about your show tonight and how its subject is the monopoly record labels and how they fuck over artists, and I agree with all that, but if I could, I'd like to present to you my official statement. It is not my intention to debate what your purpose tonight is all about, as I agree with much of what I assume you will be talking about, though as you know, I don't agree that the performance rights organizations are entirely the evil entities that some would make them out to be. Anyway, what I feel in my heart is that even worse than any record company are today's so-called fans, good for little else than lip service. If I had a buck for every piece of smoke blowing up my ass, I would be richer than Springsteen and Dylan combined. I'm gonna scroll down a little bit. Basically, you know, today's fans are fan of lip service. He even offered his CDs for a lousy $3 on Facebook, practically giving them away. Because after mailing them, I made like 50 cents. Your host tonight, Rob Mazurek, walked the walk and bought several copies. Hear, hear. Sadly, though, I strongly oppose any government telling me what I can or can't listen to or watch online. In the end, it is the bottomless pit of music online that has cheapened music to the point where it is little less than running tap water, which has little value in the eyes and ears of the online surfer. Why buy a Pete Berwick CD when they can go to countless websites where my music is sold, some of them illegally, and listen to every song I have ever written for nothing? Also, in the days of yore, when an artist put out a record and you and all of your friends would rush out to buy it to see who could be the first one. Today, one friend downloads it illegally, burns a copy for everyone else. So what I'm saying is that the decline of CD sales due to an apathetic public is a worse enemy to me than any record label. If one gets off on being a starving artist and just enjoys having their music heard online, then I guess that's okay if it makes them happy, but I have a mortgage and a wife and a kid to support, and all the people telling me in the world they love my music doesn't mean doot to me if I don't see any money from it. Other than the money I make singing in the bars, if it wasn't for BMI, I wouldn't see squat from my music. Thoughts? Did I lose my co-host this evening?
No,
Well, I guess it
no, you
depends
didn't
on.
lose me. Go ahead, Rob.
No, I was just going to say, I guess it depends on, you know, I'm getting feedback from the cam here.
Again?
Yeah, it depends on the royalties, I guess, that he's getting.
Well, Pete has also had the honor of having one of his songs used in a motion picture, Paramount Pictures, The Thing Called Love, starring River Phoenix. So I'm sure that pays considerably more than airplay or just, CD sales.
Right. And also, in Pete's situation, like Deb was saying earlier, Pete's been a bit more fortunate than most, is that his music has been picked up. It was picked up, it was in the River Phoenix movie. I do believe there was a television show also.
Yes.
And, as a matter of fact, a couple of them, if I'm not mistaken. There was, hang on. Of course, when you go on Pete's Facebook page, it's sometimes you got to scroll down just a little bit.
And Hello Hand was picked up by Dr. Demento.
Mm-hmm.
So he has been very fortunate compared to most.
Absolutely. And it was One Last Shot was picked up by I forget what the show it was. It was one of the new ones.
It was a cop show.
Right.
Detectives. I can't think of the name of it.
And also another one of his songs, the movie Detention of the Dead, will feature his song Renegade. Now, it's because of extremely hard work that Pete has, honestly, to be honest, that he's done no less work than anybody else has done. But it's just as much blood, sweat, and tears. And Pete, in his situation, no, he doesn't, I don't think, has the time to sit down and go after royalties and represent himself, because his day job, obviously, he's a musician by heart, and he taps into that talent. And yeah, he's during the day, his day job is singing telegrams. So I can certainly see his point of view, that he doesn't have time to go after these royalties himself and not get screwed. Would he be better off if in a perfect world he did have time to do that and he didn't need BMI? Absolutely. Pete himself has said that BMI, it's a double-edged sword, because on one hand, as a musician, he needs them. On the other hand, because of the licensing fees that they charge clubs and venues, so that people can perform their music, or even just to have a jukebox, has actually, a lot of the places that he's played at in the past stopped having live music just because they didn't want to pay the licensing fees to the PROs.
Yeah, and those fees also cause a lot of those venues to say no more live music or close down completely, which means local musicians have just lost another venue. They've lost more of their income, while they've still got a mortgage to pay and quite often a family to feed.
Mm-hmm.
And as we know, the performance rights societies use some pretty heavy-handed tactics. I mean, for people to commonly refer to it as protection money, and they're not calling it that themselves, they're repeating what was said to them by the representative of that performance rights society that was shaking them down.
Mm-hmm.
Protection money.
Absolutely.
They call it the music mafia for a reason.
Yes, and I thought I had that still image loaded, but I do not, but I can certainly grab it in just a second, since we have indeed started talking about these wonderful, happy people.
You know, and another thing that makes it difficult for the indie musicians, it's also making it more difficult for the labels to make money, is the fact that there is so much competition out there. The internet opens that up all the way. Anybody can record their music and make it available online.
Mm-hmm.
Where Used to, it wasn't that way. You had a handful of labels, and they picked what got played on the radio, and those people had the potential to make money. Well, the whole game's changed because of the internet.
It's changed
So
in
yeah,
a
there's
humongous
a
way.
lot of competition.
And it's really stupefying because it changed. So, and when you look at the whole history, it changed so quickly. It wasn't just, it wasn't overnight, but it was fast compared to how other things have happened in the industry. Is
Yeah.
that, especially once broadband became available and people didn't have to wait hours or to load, and you could put so much more content online so much more quickly. Like a show like this, we couldn't have done this 10 years ago. You certainly couldn't do something like this on dial-up. Are you kidding me?
No, no. You could wait an hour for a JPEG to download on dial-up.
And that's the piece of it I think that freaked out the industry was that and they can't control it. They can't
No,
throttle it.
they can't control it. And they've always had control over the music, over the musicians. And because of the internet, they lost control. And they've also got tremendous competition now. Well, you know what? It's a new day and age. It's new technology. And they failed to embrace that technology
They fought
and
it.
use it to their advantage.
They fought it.
They fought it. Now, whose fault is that they are now suffering as a result?
Well, it's certainly not yours, and it's certainly not mine. I'm
No, I
looking
think
for
their
this
pain is
picture.
self-inflicted.
I'd have to agree with that. I'm trying to find this damn picture. I was looking for the music mob,
Oh, the mob.
and my computer has decided to go psycho on me all of a sudden. So if you give me just a second, hopefully I can find it.
Yeah, the industry has made it so insanely complicated to even broadcast music. And like if you want to record a cover song, that's kind of ridiculous too. All the stuff you have to go through to even learn the legal aspects of it. It's crazy. You almost have to have an attorney to truly get into the real laws and what you have to do and what you can't do. Parker says what's happening to the music industry is exactly what happened to the movie industry back in the 30s and 40s.
I think it's a good point. And it basically the same kind of thing. It consolidates. I'm still trying to find that picture. My computer is not liking me right now.
With TV on the rise, people stopped going to the movies as much. Yes.
I would agree with that.
And, I don't know how they worked that out back then. I don't know how they compensated the movie studios. You do? How? Please tell. I know the rates for advertising on TV is ridiculous, and I'm sure a lot of that does go to licensing and royalties. We've got lag here, so
Yeah, and because I'm in high def, we're talking like a 5-second lag, just so you know.
Oh wow! You said the movie industry basically died for a
I
short
noticed
time.
when I was talking.
You noticed the lag, Rob?
Oh yeah, yeah.
I know I've got that damn picture. It's in my regular slideshow, but I don't know where the hell I saved it.
I'll find it. I know I got it. I do.
Well, yeah, 'cause that came from you, so I know you have it. If
Yeah,
you
I
don't
mean,
have it,
it's,
something's very wrong. Before
I mean,
post-war
if I,
50s, there were a few
I think
huge.
the movie in.
Go ahead, Rob.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to say, I think the movie industry is bankrolled pretty good these days.
I think so too, but I see where he's saying there were not there were not just these few big ones. There were a lot of ones that were a bit smaller. Found it.
oh, you got it?
Got it.
Okay, I've got both of them right here.
I just found mine too. Okay.
All right.
And it's only because you found it on your end. You know that, right?
Uh-huh.
But this is what we're talking about. Don't get busted by the mob. Hi, Jeannie. Mothers of broadcasting.
Parker said before post-war 50s, there were few huge movie companies. They started spending millions on major epics like Ben-Hur, and most failed and lost immense amounts of money. But you know what? They finally found a way to make a comeback. And I have to wonder if this is what's going to happen with the music industry. That they are going to have to collapse before they come up with a good business model. At this point, major movie companies started shutting down and smaller companies started taking their place.
I have to wonder, and I think we've talked about this before, Deb. I really have to wonder if the same thing's going to happen in the music industry. Because I mean, you think about it. Yep, there we go. Major record labels are dying. Smaller labels are now taking their place. Because the concept of too big to fail is a bunch of chicken shit bullshit. Let me just call it for what it is. It's BS. And
I agree.
The thing is that no, they're not too big to fail, and they will fail because their product stinks. It's like a car. It's like a car manufacturer back in the day. If they were like a great manufacturer, but then they got into bad management and they started building bad cars, well, people quit buying them. It's the same thing with the music. And particularly with the online medium, and this is why they are so hung up on trying to stop piracy, which will never happen, is because, all right, why the hell am I going to pay $20 for the latest Beyonce CD when I can get it for free? And Apple iTunes recognized this trend, and that's why they were able, and they do it through license with the music industry. They're able to offer downloads that are so cheap because you really only want one or two songs off the damn thing anyway.
Better yet, why would you pay $20 for the latest Beyonce CD when you could buy Rob Mazurik's latest CD and have good, really good music from start to finish?
Right.
Oh, thanks, Deb.
Oh, it's true. I have yet to get a CD from an indie artist that had one or two good songs and the rest was crap.
I can honestly say the same.
Buy a major label CD.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what? That's been my findings. The majority of it is crap.
Mm-hmm.
And it's overpriced.
It is way overpriced. And, it's because they're trying to cover the overhead. And, of course, their big reason is it's because of all the piracy and illegal downloads we have to charge so much.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Which is a bunch of bullshit, and we know
I think there's only there's 3 or 4 major labels left now anyway.
4. There's Sony BMG, Warner Music Group, EMI, and Universal. And we will be talking about them a little bit more later.
Mm-hmm. Our wonderful friends.
I love the internet.
Yes. Yeah, we'll be talking about that in the later half of the show. The recent goings on. Right now it's history time with Deb, Rob, and Jack.
Not near as entertaining as story time with Uncle Rob, but maybe we'll get there too.
Yeah. Parker, again, charging more money due to piracy is the exact opposite of what they need to do. Here.
I agree.
Drop by Deb's show Wednesday for story time.
Okay. Yes, we love story time with Uncle Rob. It's great.
Oh, baby. Oh, man. Just to get on I'm sorry, go ahead.
The industry seems to be in denial rather than looking at what's happening and, taking a good hard look at their options and really weighing it out.
Mm-hmm.
It's pure defiance all the way. And they are starting to embrace the internet a little bit more, but while they're doing that, they're also trying to come up with ways to control it, to control the content on the internet, and I think, in essence, also control the internet itself.
I would absolutely agree with that.
And I think they're going to run into a lot of resistance there.
Yes, just with recent goings on, just in the last week. Hold on. Wind her up and let her go.
I want to go get something to drink before we get into this part.
Okay. Tell you what, let's.
I'm sorry.
Go, you two, go ahead.
Steven's saying he read somewhere that he said it was something like this, that piracy is a service problem. I don't know if it should be looked at as a problem or one of the most brilliant advertising strategies ever.
Or both.
Yeah.
Depending on the circumstances.
Well, Janice Ian found that when her music was being illegally downloaded, she was selling a lot more of it. Because people would get this one song illegally, or maybe two songs illegally, and they'd say, oh my God, she's really good. And they would go buy the whole CD. So, from her point of view, illegal downloads are a good thing. But I don't know how many artists have done their homework like she has to really, get their hands on the sales figures and research all of it the way she has. Well, you know what, Stephen? Another problem with the 99-cent downloads, it goes back to a concept that they had, I guess in the 60s, the 45 RPM vinyl. It was a single cut off of an album. Now, if you could buy that single for, pennies, and that was your favorite song off of the whole album, why buy the album? So they did away with the 45. And then, in order to get that 45, you had to buy the whole album or buy a cassette. And then it transitioned into CDs. The single went away.
Yes.
Because it wasn't profitable for the industry. And now they have the 99-cent download. It's like a step back into the 60s.
Yeah, because the single, it actually cost more to produce the single than it did, not so much on vinyl, but certainly CD singles. They were out for a while. And you bought them for like $3 or $4, at least I did. Which they had like 2 songs on them. And it actually cost more to produce that one CD than they made off of it. That's why it went the way of the dodo. Cassettes were inexpensive, but, once CDs became mainstream, nobody was buying anything on a freaking cassette.
Well, I think, too, it was the same problem with the 45. When you could go out and pay less to get the one good song that's on the entire album, which we know, in some cases, that's right.
Yeah.
There is only one good song. So they did away with the 45. And I feel like the 99-cent download is actually a giant step backwards. That they leaped into it to get on the internet and have sales this way.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they did so without really considering the impact and, comparing it to history, their own history,
Right.
which proved not to be the most profitable way to go. That's just my opinion, but
Right.
I think that's what happened.
Right. I certainly think there's something to that. And
Mhm.
God, you are a brat cat.
I'll be right back.
Okay. Tell you what, guys. Let me throw the Skype call on hold, and I'll throw on a song, and I think we'll all be right back. How's that sound?
Cool.
Cool. Rob?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Okay. Let me see if I can figure out how to do that. Hi, baby. Sorry, brat cat. And I've got a computer in her way, so I needed to back away from it so she could jump up and be goofy. But she's not spoiled. Okay. Throwing the Skype call on hold now. Alright, there's that. Next song is... It's by Alison Crow. It's off of her Secret CD. Song is called Whether I'm Wrong.
Don't want to raise my head. The world is covered in rage. A voice is calling out in anger, entering erratically into another age. A shadow puppets on the wall. I don't know who to believe. In the darkness, standing tall with a smile upon your face, and I have a right to have a voice, have a say. Whether I'm wrong or whether I'm right, it doesn't really matter anymore. We put up a wall, you put up a fight. Now it seems we've forgotten what all of that was for. Whether you don't want to or whether you can't see what is right in front of your face, time is running out and we're already losing ground with the human race. I don't want to raise my hand. I don't know why I'm scared to say. I feel like I wanna call out. Feel like I want to run away. And I don't know why anyone should have to suffer anymore. Yeah, well, I don't know a whole lot of anything, but I do wonder what all of this is for. forgotten what all of that was for. Whether you don't want to or whether you can't see what is right in front of your face. Time is running out and we're already losing ground with the human race.
And that was... Ooh, my bad. That was Whether I'm Wrong by Alison Crow. And it's off of her Secret CD. And refilled the cat dish and refilled my beer supply over here. So I think I'm good to go for a little while. And I think at this point, we'll go ahead and bring our callers back online. Oh yeah, and if you're watching this on YouTube, that song is licensed under Creative Commons. As long as you, the particular license is, as long as you attribute the artist, and that's what I just did. So we're covered. Go ahead and resume the Skype call here. Let's see if let's see who we got back. Rob, you there?
Yeah.
Okay. And Deb?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, welcome back.
Yeah. I'm hearing some feedback now.
Okay, and you're not as clear as you were a bit ago.
Wow.
I don't know why that is.
You're lucky?
Oh, now it's coming back. Okay. It's the encoder. It adjusts automatically volume levels and stuff. So I guess now that we're coming out of the song, now it's adjusting back to where it was previously. I'm guessing. I don't know.
Yeah, I get a feedback every 5 seconds. Like,
Really? I don't understand why. Is it feeding back out on the show as well, or is it just here with us? Let me mute my mic so I can check this.
I hear it when I talk anyway.
Yeah, you sound like you're in a canyon, echoing.
Oh, great.
Yeah, I had my mic muted. The good news is that if it's feeding back, it's not feeding back on the broadcast. So, but yeah, Rob, you do have that. You definitely do have that that tunnel. You almost sound like you're in the bathroom sound, but it doesn't sound bad. But
Well, he could be.
Hey, I wonder if it's my Windows audio settings.
It could be. Hell, it could be anything. I mean, you and I didn't
Well-
really get a chance to go through your stuff before we brought you on. Probably should have, since we were watching that so-called debate the other night. But anyway.
Well, it wasn't like that before we took a break.
It might be something on my end.
Oh, really?
Although I haven't changed anything. But actually,
Weird.
Rob, you sound louder now. But
Let me
it's
try and set it for... see if I change my audio settings to... it's on microphone.
Strange.
So let me see if I change it to like stereo or whatever.
Parker said don't worry about it. It makes you sound epic.
Oh, okay. Well, thanks. Yes.
It's really weird. We had this problem at one of the events. Remember when we would take a break?
Yeah, I was just thinking of that, and at the time I thought it was a blog TV thing, but with me doing the HQ thing, all the encoding and stuff is actually happening on my system here, and it's encoding it, and all Blog's doing is broadcasting it. So I can't blame Blog on this one.
Weird.
Yeah, it is, but no, it doesn't sound bad. So, no sense. I mean, and I can certainly hear you pretty clearly myself here. So if you want my opinion, I'd say screw it. Don't worry about it.
Yep.
Okay,
Poker Babe, welcome to the show. Good to see you.
that's cool then.
Anyway, so now we're getting into part 2 of our discussion this evening, and now we're going to talk about stuff that's more recent.
Out of the Stone Age into modern day.
Yeah, I hear Deb salivating already. Rob too. I can almost hear the. Let me find. There it is. SOPA list.
She says, "Hey, sweetie."
Hey.
His wife says that to him all the time. And David Aaron's daddy.
Hey, David
Okay.
Aaron's daddy. And it doesn't. Well, hell. If you're watching this on YouTube, again, the link will be in the description bar, because I just tried to throw it in the video screen. It looks like shit. Oh my god, you can't even see that. Can you guys even see that? Like, even if you go full screen, can you see that?
Nah,
I can't even
it's
see
pretty
it.
bad.
Yeah, that sucks. That sucks worse than anything that has ever sucked before.
But
I'm gonna drop a link in the chat. And hi, Dora. And
That is
you
an
get to
image.
narrate
Of,
first, Jack.
well,
yeah.
I've just thrown it up into. I just threw the link in the chat because I can't even see it here. Would you late? Oh my gosh! And now she's on my cord and she's bringing me down with her. And then she attacks the cord. Hold on, cat difficulty. Did that? That doesn't even look like that even worked. No, it didn't. Damn it! Hang on.
Well, SOPA is the U.S. Anti-Piracy Act, I guess you could call it.
There, that one should work. And it does. Okay. And also, while Deb's talking, I'm gonna be pulling up the other document that her and I compiled earlier. A little bit of Jack and Deb awesomeness happened a little bit earlier today.
Ha! Rob. I'm not reading that out loud. I will not. There was some recent legislation that was proposed that would not eliminate but curb piracy on the internet. And the sponsors of it, the image that Jack tried to put up there was a list of some of the sponsors and the money they had received from the industry. It's been a huge financial arrangement to try to get this law passed. But it didn't pass. But it isn't really over yet either. And
I think it's
there
been a
are
lot of
people
bribing
that
of
have-
politicians, to be honest.
what, Rob?
I think it's been a lot of bribing of politicians, to be honest.
Well, if you click on that link and look at that image that Jack put up,
It's like we've said about
it's
the music
huge.
industry, it applies to this too. All you have to do is follow the money.
yeah. And what's interesting, most of the people, the politicians, senators, who receive money for Pippa also receive money from the SOPA sponsors. Big bucks. Really big.
What a surprise.
Well, let's run down the list here. Money received from Pippa sponsors. Charles Schumer, $864,265. Harry Reid, $665,420. Kirsten Gillibrand, $556,525. Barbara Boxer, $544,424. Patrick Leahy, head sponsor of Pippa, by the way, $416,250. Michael Bennett, $347,406. Roy Blunt, $341,700. Robert Portman, $337,525. Richard Burr, $275,950. $272,750. Now, look on the other side. Money received from SOPA sponsors. Second mention, Harry Reid, $3,502,624. Charles Schumer, second mention, $2,648,770. Kirsten Gillibrand, second mention, $2,080,651. Barbara Boxer, second mention, $1,431,843. Senator Scott Brown, $1,364,872. Robert Portman, second mention, $1,363,009. Patrick Toomey, $1,291,744. Michael Bennett, second mention, $1,019,172. Mark Kirk, coincidentally the caretaker of the candy desk in the United States Senate, $911,296. Patrick Leahy, bill sponsor of Pippa, received money from SOPA sponsor as well, $905,310. So, all you do...
I'd like to make 2 points.
Okay.
One is, you have to wonder why none of this is on the mainstream media. And number 2 is, you would think that would be illegal.
One would think so.
Millions of dollars?
One would think so, but suppose it's a quote-unquote campaign contribution. So Deb and I decided, we were talking on Skype this morning, and we decided we needed to do some digging. And just like when we found out all the stuff with the music industry, it's like, okay, how many of these guys are on the Judiciary Committee? How many are lawyers? Didn't find all the good dirt that, to be honest with you, I think we were hoping to find. As far as Judiciary Committee members, I think there was only, what was it, 2 or 3 of them, Deb?
Patrick Leahy and Charles Schumer.
And Patrick Leahy, coincidentally, head sponsor of Pippa.
Isn't that interesting?
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that I find so disturbing about this, between those 2 bills, there are people who have concerns that piracy is like a smokescreen, that it's actually much deeper than just a piracy issue. It's a huge step toward the government taking control of the internet and having the ability to block or even shut down various sites, if not the entire internet, at their convenience.
The infamous kill switch that we've talked about before.
Yeah, and recently I've seen things that I could see where that would be to their advantage. I've been glued, literally glued to this Occupy movement and watching the raids. And occasionally on mainstream media, you'll see a shocking video of police brutality where, like the New York cop that kettled those women on the sidewalk and then broke out the pepper spray for no reason at all. It was shocking. It was all over the news. And that was pretty much the end of
Disgusting.
that. Since then, I have seen a Iraqi veteran left with permanent brain damage. He was doing nothing wrong, but he kind of accidentally got shot in the head with a tear gas canister. And while the medics were trying to render first aid, a flash grenade was set off right beside him. I saw one young man with blood running down his face. He ended up with a cracked skull because the cop didn't want him sitting where he was sitting. Just countless videos. You would not believe how many videos are out there of the police brutality that has gone on during these raids. I've seen them just grab people off the sidewalk and beat the hell out of them. But before the cops move in, before the riot squad moves in, they will usually tell mainstream media to leave. And we know when we hear them telling media to leave,
Right.
that the big stuff is about to happen. Well, they quickly realized that wasn't the end of their problem, because they have all these people on the ground live streaming from webcams and from their 4G phones. So now we've got another problem.
I love that.
They're, huh?
I was just saying, gotta love that when they're getting caught.
Yeah. Well, they need to put an end to that, because even though the mainstream media is refusing to broadcast this and make this news available to the people, these damn live streamers down on the ground, they're not only live streaming it and getting it out there, they're also producing video of it, which makes it evidence in court cases. Lots and lots and lots of protesters who have been arrested. The charges have been dismissed because the video shows the truth, which I think is fabulous.
Yeah, and I think it
But-
goes. I think it goes to the crux of the whole thing. It goes back to the whole control thing.
Right, right.
Um,
And these live streamers are also putting the proof out there that these cops are just, it's just unbelievable, the police brutality and abuse of power. And if they can get these laws like SOPA passed, and they can gain control of the internet and block whatever they want to block, chances are we're not going to be seeing this reality TV that we're seeing now.
and it actually, to me, goes back. It goes to the whole thing, the whole streaming thing.
Yes.
Somebody could submit, true or false, some kind of copyright claim. They could say that there's an image that's being shown in the video, an advertisement, for example, that's copyrighted, and that's why this whole thing is scary, because as internet broadcasters, as far as, especially with the independent, as scared as the music industry is of the independents, and these same politicians' pockets have been lined by all these different people. The numbers I threw out just a little bit ago, that was just in support of PIPA and SOPA.
Oh, yeah.
You broaden it out, and Deb and I regretfully didn't have really the time to go and do the whole follow the money thing that we usually do. We usually have a lot more information, but we'll save that for the next show that we do about this.
Huh.
I think really, if you followed the money, and you would see the big corporations and all this, and I'd be willing to bet you could follow it all the way straight to a bank. They're all in bed with each other.
Well, I have a
And
question.
this is why I think it's relevant.
I have a question that I do not know the answer to.
You think I will? Or Rob?
Well, all this money, you saw the numbers, the money that was handed to these politicians to get this law passed. Well, where does that money go? Who gets that money? What's it used for? In the end, where does it go?
Where does it go? I don't know the answer to that either. When I was throwing out those numbers,
if they were campaigning for re-election, okay, we'll say it went to their campaign fund.
but
Sure
could it have
did.
also have gone to a political action committee? The super PACs?
Where does that money go?
No, it's not in my pocket. Is it in yours?
We'll have to check their bank accounts.
Yeah,
Which
you have
ones?
to wonder.
Yeah, which ones, Rob? The ones in Sweden?
Yeah. Cayman Islands.
Well, it was really interesting because I had read an article about a musician. I want to say he was a rapper or hip hop. I'm not sure, but the label he was with was upset because he had helped this music site get started up, and they didn't want his music there. He did, but the label didn't, and there was a big feud over that. And I wish I had kept that article so I would know for sure who it was, what label, and what the music site was. But the day that the politicians decided to table SOPA, it was a great day. So we thought. Most of us
Right.
thought.
So we thought.
The very next day, there was a music download site or a music sharing site called Mega Upload.
Actually, Mega Upload was okay. Let's describe it was a digital locker.
Okay.
You know how people always describe save it in the cloud. That's kind of what Mega Upload was. Mega Upload's the kind of site, you know, when because Rob records his music in a higher definition format, so Rob can't simply email us his songs, and we have to go to a site and download it. That's the kind of site that Mega Upload was. It was a digital locker.
Okay. Well, it was taken down the day after SOPA was tabled. Mega Upload was taken down. And it was really interesting because I've got people asking me, how can the American government order the arrest of all these people in other countries? Mostly, I think, New Zealand.
Yes.
But they did. These people were arrested.
Especially the owner and the CEO of the website, Kim.com, legally changed his name, is a Dutch national who was living in New Zealand. Don't believe he'd ever even been to the United States, but was arrested by New Zealand authorities at the request of the United States, the FBI actually, and is now facing extradition because one of the servers that Mega Upload didn't even own it, they leased it, was right here in the state of Virginia. So they
I think there's an international agreement when it comes to copyright laws.
Yeah, not all countries participate, but yes, there is, and I cannot remember the name of it, but I am familiar with that agreement.
I've heard of that.
Yeah, and I think that is how they managed to pull this off. But even with their international agreement, a lot of people were furious about what happened. And they look at it too, I think, like, if this is what they can do without SOPA, what will they do with it?
That's a point of view that I have to say I personally share.
I do too. And these people, some of them felt the need to make a point, make it very clear that these actions are unacceptable.
Dropping a link in the chat, and again, if you're watching this on YouTube, the link will also be in the description bar. This link is Anonymous Goes Nuclear. It's a CNET article. Because that's who is, and they take full credit for it. Anonymous, it is I don't know the best. Deb, how would you describe them?
I don't really know how to describe Anonymous. I know often in the media it's described as a group. Like, I don't know how to really describe them. They're people, just like you and me, only they're people who really, really know their computer stuff. They're really good. And, these companies, they can go out and hire the best and brightest to set up their systems and all this stuff and put all these safeguards in place. But I'm sure they've got a budget how much they can spend for that. And they can only hire so many of these guys and spend a certain amount of money on it without it breaking the bank. And the really cool thing about Anonymous is that it's kind of a volunteer thing, and with no budget constraints, they can really get the best and the brightest, and they're all working together to develop the plan on how to work around these things that the company's computer geniuses have put into place.
I think Parker described it best.
Yeah.
Anon gets paid in lulls. Yeah?
Yeah. Well, they decided that what was done at Mega Uploads was entirely wrong. It should not have happened. And now this is just my understanding of it, okay? I could be totally wrong here, but I don't think I am. They were really upset about this. Pissed. They started taking action. And I was watching Twitter and seeing this term, Tango Down. They would give the name of a website and Tango Down. How did that happen? What's up with that? Well, the list was just phenomenal. FBI, Department of Justice, RIAA.
Priceless.
Then they went after the RIAA members. There was Warner Music Group, EMI, Sony BMG.
I fucking love it.
Jack, I'm missing one here. Warner, EMI, Sony.
Yeah, and you mentioned the RIAA.
There's another member, I'm forgetting. Universal.
Universal. Yeah, they took down Universal.
They also took down... I'm sorry, I don't want to say take down. What they did was a DDoS.
Yeah.
It was a denial of service because the servers were getting hammered so hard they couldn't handle anymore.
Right. Yeah. Let me
EMI.
take. Yeah. Let me take a minute and clarify that because we're not in talking about this. We're not saying that we're supportive of hackers because that's not what they're doing. They are not hacking these websites. They're not. What they're doing is basically they're using computer programs that inundate them with so many hits that the servers become overloaded and become shut down, which I didn't know until today was actually illegal.
Oh, geez, it's just an honest typo.
Well, what they did was called a DDoS, and it comes up with denial of service because basically the servers are overwhelmed. This is my understanding of it. And it was also, the media reported it as the biggest action by Anonymous in history. So I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that Anonymous is really, really pissed about this. Really pissed. I read, I think it was today, that even poor little
I'm sure the
Justin
government
Bieber-
is too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're not happy about it at all. Even poor little Justin Bieber, his website. This is what came up on his website when you tried to access it.
Got it up on the video screen now.
And you can't really read the text, but
Nah, this Minicam is sucking tonight for some reason. It's pissing me off.
what we're seeing here is the Grim Reaper. And he wasn't the only major label, dare I say, star that was affected by this. You know, another really interesting thing about SOPA, speaking of little Justin Bieber, if this passes, he would be one of the people that could end up doing 5 years in prison, because when he started out, he was doing cover songs.
Well,
And
they like him.
he and his mother, yeah, he and his mother put them all over Facebook. So right here is one of the people who could, as a result of SOPA, be a victim of it. And he has actually spoken out against SOPA.
Gee, I wonder why.
Parker. The dark side. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to send you over to the dark side. But, no, I thought it was interesting. I did look at Justin Bieber's site, and I looked at, I think it was EMI, and they have artwork there for everybody to see.
Yeah, you know, Deb, I have to say, it surprises me that even for this reason you would go to Justin Bieber's website. I'm just saying.
Well, actually, the link was sent to me and said, she said, "Oh my God, you've got to see this." So I said, "Okay."
Yeah, this is what
And
happened to it.
That's where it took me to. So, yeah. But an Anonymous did some. Well, it started. I think SOPA was laid to rest, laid on the table. What, Wednesday? And the Anonymous action started the following day.
It started within hours, actually. It didn't, you know, it started, like, Mega Upload got taken down sometime during the day on Wednesday, and these guys declared war sometime over the course of the evening Wednesday night.
Well, by Thursday night, the media was saying this was the biggest action that Anonymous had ever taken. I mean, it made history. And that was, by then, you know, it was looking pretty huge. That was just the beginning. Just the beginning. It went way beyond what they had done that day. They sent a message, and I think it was a very loud message, that you cannot take the internet away. You cannot control the internet. In fact, I got the impression that Anonymous controls the internet. And I don't see SOPA passing. But we have also, Jack and I have read about another piece of legislation. ACTA, I think, is the name of it. We're thinking they're going to slide that into another bill. They will bury it in a big, thick piece of legislation. And
I just dropped the link in the chat, the one you sent me earlier.
Cool.
And again, if you're listening to this on YouTube, because you're certainly just watching a slideshow, the link will also be available in the description bar.
Oh, you're kidding. That site says it's down for maintenance. Are you kidding?
What, Rob Mazurik's site? Are you shitting me? Really?
Oh, Rob's site might be.
Invalid friend ID.
Yeah,
Your
that's
homepage is
MySpace.
undergoing Your homepage is undergoing routine maintenance. We apologize for the inconvenience. What?
That's MySpace, the
Yeah.
link that's in there.
Yeah, my
I wonder
spam's
if
down.
MySpace. It wasn't on any list I saw. Okay, people, it was not. It was not.
We're sitting here, we're
Really?
talking about these guys. How the hell can we promote? Okay, somebody needs to tell the damn Anon guys. Hey, listen, leave the musicians alone. Just leave them alone. We'll go Chris Crocker on them.
There you go. I don't know if it'll do any good.
Oh hell no! Then they would declare war then, just because it was annoying. But yeah, here it is. What the fuck?
Wow, I wonder
Really?
if MySpace got it too.
Yeah, this is MySpace.
Now, I'm not saying that Anonymous is doing all this because I don't know that for a fact, and I don't want to point the finger
Well,
at
no,
anybody.
this is MySpace. It could be any fucking thing, really.
Well, that's true.
If we
That's
went
true.
on there more than once every 5 months, we'd probably realize that we would have seen the notice that they said that they might be doing maintenance right now. But it is funny after we're talking about
But
this.
I do know that a lot of the action that has taken place over the last few days, that Anonymous did claim responsibility for it, according to the mainstream media. And, I don't want to condone what they're doing, but I'm sure as hell not going to say that I'm wholeheartedly against it.
Right.
Given
I think
what-
that's kind of where we are, where I'm at with that as well. To be honest with you, I can't condemn it. I'll put it to you that way.
Parker says, I do it some more.
I can't. I
Yeah.
certainly can't condemn it because it does. Because the internet even today is still the Wild West, in so many ways, and these corporate morons don't truly understand the whole freewheeling, for lack of a better way to describe it, the whole freewheeling thing that the internet is, and they just don't get it. And when they try to fight it, they run up against it, and that's kind of when they learn,
Well, I think it's important. We've already learned that our politicians do not hear us. When you've got thousands and thousands of people out marching in the streets demanding justice, and we've not seen anybody on Wall Street doing a perp walk, have we?
No.
No, we have not. So they've made it very clear that they do not hear our voices. And I do feel that these guys are providing a valuable service by letting the politicians know that they're stepping into territory where they should not be, and they will not win.
And they're definitely going where angels fear to tread.
Sure they are. FBI, Department of Justice, oh my God. Those are big. In fact, I think they even...
They took down the White House website.
well, yeah, that's kind of big.
They took down the White House website. I mean, these guys are pissed.
I can't help it. As my personal opinion, I feel like they are providing a service by demanding that our voices be heard. And it's a subtle way of letting them know one way or another you will hear us.
Right. Not any... I gotta say this. How is it much different than how the revolution started? It started by throwing a bunch of cases of tea into Boston Harbor. It was an act of defiance.
Civil disobedience.
Bingo.
That's much nicer than defiance.
Yeah, and you know what? I think it does describe it much more accurately. So, well, yeah, I'm with you on that. We'll call it that. Civil disobedience. It even worked
I like that term.
even in the 60s, sit-ins. A black person couldn't get a cup of coffee at Woolworths or any, it's not the same exact thing, but it is the same idea applied to a different era.
It's oppression.
Mm-hmm.
It's oppression. I suppose it makes its point and no one gets hurt. I don't really think anyone does get hurt.
Who gets hurt from it? Unless it's WebMD or like an important site like that. Who gets hurt because a website gets taken down? Who is going to die because I cannot get to Rob's MySpace page right now?
Well, another thing that is so disturbing to me, I have seen people get hurt as far as the Occupy protesters that are out there.
Well, that's
demanding that our voices be heard.
Well, that's different. Now, what I'm saying is, I thought we were just talking
agree.
online.
I agree.
But as far as Occupy,
the media, the mainstream media, is not sharing this with the world.
Well, yeah, look at who owns them.
Exactly. That's why I feel like
follow the money.
The internet is so important. And had it not been for the internet, a lot of what I have seen, I wouldn't even be aware of. I wouldn't believe that these cops are just snatching people out of the crowd on the sidewalk and beating the hell out of them with batons and pepper spraying them and abusing their authority the way they are. This is not just an isolated case. This is nationwide. So, I have to thank Anonymous for standing up for the people and for demanding that we be heard and ensuring that our politicians know the internet is not theirs to take. It is not the industry's to take. It belongs to the people. And the people aren't going to give it up without one hell of a fight. So yes, I thank Anonymous. I do. I think they do very important work.
I totally agree with that. And I think what goes to the crux of the conversation, talking about the music industry, talking about Occupy, talking about, you lump all this together. And what you get down to at the bottom line is how important this medium is, the internet. How important it is to all of us, because through it, things that people would otherwise not be exposed to, whether like in our particular case, I would never have known who Rob Mazurek is. I would never have known who Pete Berwick is. J.D.
We wouldn't
Stiegel,
even know each other.
Yeah, we wouldn't even know each other. All these great musicians, and one that's passed, J.D. Stiegel, okay? All this I would never have known about, and a lot of people would never have known about. The musicians I've gotten to expose people to, Big Bad Son, Allison Crowe. God, I could go on and on and on.
Raina Del Cid, Shannon Kennedy, Sweet Papa Dave Band, Black Angel. Oh my God. Mama Kaz.
Mama Kaz. Happy birthday, Mama.
Kyle Marney.
Yeah. I mean, God, we could go on forever. Deb, you and I could go on for like 5 hours just naming musicians.
Oh, I know. And then we got Digirad.
And just because of the internet, this is how powerful this medium is, and this is why it's important that it is not taken away from us in any way, shape, or form. Through this, yes, the Occupy movement, and not just the negative part that mainstream media says, oh yeah, there's rats in McPherson Park and there's people crapping on the sidewalk. But the rest of the story, and this is what's important. It's like when you listen to longtime broadcaster.
You know what it is, Chuck?
What?
They want to control what you see and hear, like the mainstream media.
They want you to form a negative opinion about this movement, so you back off from it instead of join it. They want you to form a negative opinion about these the internet being a cesspool of theft and corruption. But you know what? It doesn't matter if you're talking about illegal downloads and the SOPA law, or if you're talking about police brutality and the Occupy movement. Mainstream media tries to spin the hell out of it to make you see their point of view rather than giving you the facts and letting you form your own decision. And the bottom line is, through all of this, it's all got one thing in common. Follow the money.
Yep.
Follow it straight to the politicians.
I would even take it a step further as far, especially talking about copyright laws and the whole SOPA and the PIPA thing. Look at what those laws, and look at what they're trying to do without them to begin with. I mean, God, we've been talking about this shit for, I mean, Deb and I figured it out today. We've been talking about this, at least on this show, for 3 years. Deb's got a year on me on that, possibly 2. And look at what the music industry has lined the pockets of our politicians, and through that have bought into what was at one time 2 of the best venues for independent musicians. MySpace, currently down for maintenance. That's interesting. Okay.
I don't know anything about. Let me check Twitter.
Check Twitter, Deb. But MySpace at one time was the place for independents to be heard. This is where they networked. That's how they got it done. MySpace at one time was a really great website. Then the corporate whores bought into it. All of a sudden, instead of logging in and seeing just a random musician that may or may not be good, you saw Taylor Swift, you saw Justin Bieber et al. Okay, and same thing happened. It took longer, but the same things happened over on YouTube. Now it's the corporate bought whoever the flavor of the week is. The musicians that helped build that website, that were a big part of it, because people went to YouTube because they wanted different music. All of a sudden, well, first it started with the takedowns because, God forbid, they did a cover. And then the flavor of the week put on the front page. And to boot, musicians doing cover songs on YouTube, now there's a handy link to whoever the original musician was right at the bottom of the video screen, that you can click and buy the song. But you're not buying the song you heard. You bought the damn original version. Congratulations. So bits and pieces, again, follow the money. Follow the money. And, they line the politicians' pockets. And it goes into, these big corporations have taken, piece by piece, are trying to take control. And what they cannot buy and purchase to take control of, they have bought and purchased the politicians to shut down.
Yeah. Stephen made a good point. He said the truth is the government does not work for you or us at all. And he's right.
I cannot agree more.
I did check Twitter, and okay, the Facebook thing might have an Occupy connection, but I'm gonna say it's completely innocent. Okay.
You mean MySpace?
Facebook, yeah.
Well, it was a MySpace link that Rob had dropped, and that's the one that's down.
Never mind. I need to look some more then. Yeah, you're right. That does say Facebook. Never mind.
No, I thought I'd correct you before you dug yourself in deeper.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't be surprised if maybe Facebook gets a little overwhelmed from a hell of a lot of traffic.
My question is why Facebook came out against SOPA.
That's good. That's good. That was good.
MySpace, on the other hand, because of the people that own it now, might be pro SOPA. Just saying.
Yeah.
Gotta wonder.
Now who is part owner of MySpace again? Remind me one more time.
Oh, let me see here. I know EMI has bought into it.
I'm not sure who bought it now.
Doesn't Sony own a stake? Basically, the music
Alright.
majors, the RIAA renegades, as it were, which they're not. The RIAA clowns have pretty much bought a controlling stake in Facebook. Not Facebook, but MySpace.
Okay, I see nothing about MySpace Tango Down. Nothing. Not a thing.
Well, we'll do an exclusive on this show, because you know what? I think that's what happened. MySpace
there was a
Tango
rumor.
Down.
Now.
There was a rumor about 5 years ago that Justin Timberlake was supposed to be buying into MySpace.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Well, it'd be a good thing, at least somebody who was somewhat musically inclined, as opposed to some music industry whore.
Parker, I agree completely.
Parker says in the chat, MySpace is dead. Anyhow, no one cares about MySpace. Here, here. Rob,
But
you really
due
need
to
to
the
get your
fact
music on a site like Reverb Nation. They're much more reliable.
Well, due to the fact that they
Oh, I
are
do.
clearly in with the majors and the RIAA,
I'm on there too.
it wouldn't surprise me if they got hit with a lot of traffic all of a sudden.
Well, no, Facebook is still alive and well. I'm on it right now.
No, I'm talking about that other place.
Other place. No, it would not surprise me in the slightest.
But I do think, you know, I hate to condone illegal activity,
Right. Neither do I.
but I also have to question how a server being overwhelmed can actually be illegal. You know, I went to 2 of those sites and looked because somebody said, oh, you got to check out the artwork up here. You got to see what this says. Look at this. So I went to 2 of them. And the way that this would be looked at, I helped make that happen. But actually I didn't, because I didn't go look at it till the deed was done. I just wanted to see the picture. But the fact that I did go to that server, I guess I helped keep it down.
Possibly.
And at
Just
the
as an
time
innocent
when I
click.
did it, I didn't realize that I was actually participating in a crime. You know, if I give you a link and, oh man, go check out this picture, does it pop into your head immediately, oh my god, I'm committing a crime? No.
Of course not.
It never even
know it.
occurred to me until I read that article the next day and I said, oh, maybe I did. But yeah, technically, I committed a crime.
So, Deb, as we speak, are you waiting for the black Suburbans to pull up in your driveway?
Oh, sure.
And,
Yeah.
and the doors slamming, Mikey barking,
Choppers overhead, yeah, I am.
choppers
I
overhead with
panic.
But of course, you know, we've made no secret of the fact that there's probably maybe a few guns in your house. So, hey, maybe you could be the next Waco.
I just think it's so damn ridiculous that somebody doing something as innocent as clicking on a link can now be a crime. Really. And there is an article out
That's
there
stupid.
that presents it. Jack, I sent you a link to that, didn't I? I think you said
Hang
you
on.
had seen it.
Hang on.
here
I
we go.
think this was when we were talking about. Okay. No, I have the links I have is YouTube denies that Universal had a right to remove video. That goes to the whole mega upload thing, the anonymous thing I've already dropped, the whole ACTA thing I just dropped. I don't have a link to the other.
Let me see if I've got it in here because it was pretty interesting. I just thought it was kind of out there, but yeah, it could be. And of course, it's not on this one. Okay, I've got to figure out which.
Yeah, which browser it's saved on. I gotcha.
Yeah, I got way too many of those, but there's so much going on.
I'm running two different
Here we
ones
go.
right
Here we
now.
go. Huffington Post is clicking a link a crime. And the reason they did this article, they said, according to the Huffington Post, that Anonymous, their attack on the Department of Justice, tricked internet users into participating. So, is it a crime or not?
Deb, do you have a link
I
you
don't
can
know.
drop in the chat so I can... Oh, thank you.
Got it.
Okay.
Yep.
Again, those of you checking this out on YouTube, especially if you've made it this far, you will definitely want to check out the link. It will be in the description bar.
Yeah, I didn't go there to, commit a crime or
No.
to participate in shutting down a site.
You were just
I
led
went
to
there
it.
because a friend said, "Oh my God, you got to see what they put on this site."
Mm-hmm.
And I went there to look at what it said. And yeah, I was there. But I didn't intentionally go there for the purpose of hammering a site.
Right.
How ridiculous.
Now,
But you know what? I've seen people get arrested for less. I saw a guy get arrested for sitting on a park bench in a park, which I think is kind of like entrapment. And to make it worse, it was a guy who was injured and walking with a cane. He sat down on that park bench to rest his leg and was arrested because it is now illegal to sit in the park on the park bench, which I kind of think might be entrapment. But
how is that any different than the cop that sees somebody who's intoxicated get into a vehicle and instead of stopping him from getting into that vehicle, watches him drive off and pulls him over for a DWI?
Opportunist. I really don't know. I don't know. I've seen things that...
Illegal to sit on a park bench?
Yes.
This happened in New York.
Zuccotti Park, also known as Liberty Square, when they raided the park and got the protesters out of there, at that point, the attorneys went to court and the judge ruled that the barricades around the park had to come down and they had to let people back in the park. So they did, but they made it illegal to sit in the park. And there was an elderly woman.
You can't do that without putting it in writing.
I don't know how they did it really, but they arrested this gentleman for sitting on a bench. I saw the arrest. It was the most ridiculous thing I ever saw. They handcuffed his hands behind his back. They handcuffed his hands behind his back. They took his cane from him, and then they tell him to walk without his cane, knowing that he can't. And he's telling them, "I can't." But
you know what I'd do? I'd sue the frickin' department.
Well, this is the type of stuff that we would not be aware of if we relied on mainstream media. That's why these live streamers on the ground are so
It's a
vital.
public place.
We call them citizen journalists, and it's
That's what
vital.
the benches are for.
Yeah, I agree. But I feel like it's vital for the citizen journalist to be there, to get the story, to bring it to the world. And exactly, Sky High Parker says no one with brain relies on mainstream media. But I also feel like this is a big reason why they want control of the internet, why SOPA and PIPA came to be, and why they're not over yet.
So, with all that out there, as far as talking about the music industry, talking about how, they want control, are we not citizen journalists also, in terms of reporting how, especially the independents, get screwed?
Not only how they get screwed, but part of journalism is bringing attention to things. And that's exactly what we do. We bring attention to these independent musicians, their music, their story, who they are, where you can find them. You call it what you want. Call it citizen journalism, call it promotion, call it whatever the hell you want. It is a vital, I feel like it's a vital service. And Jack, you and I have always taken it upon ourselves to bring attention to things that the mainstream media won't.
Oh,
One of
yeah.
which was Rockin' the Silence for the Cheyenne River Sioux. You know, Free the Weed, CanDo.org. We've taken on things that the mainstream media doesn't really give the attention that it should. Just like the industry doesn't really give the independent musicians the attention they should.
Mm-hmm.
That's where we come in.
And that is our role. And we have that because of the internet. And this is why it is so important that it not be taken away from us. For so many reasons. And just what we do. And if you narrow it down, just go put, tunnel vision. Because of how screwed up the music industry, this is reason enough.
And they've got this crap on TV they call reality TV. And by the way, some people script. Oh my God.
No, I know one reality TV that wasn't. Wife swap.
Well,
Hi, Pete.
the thing is, the real reality TV is on the internet, and it's very different from what you see on TV. Very different.
Yes.
It's real. And it's so informative. I have gotten such an education. And, with just watching the Occupy stuff, I've seen things that you won't see on TV. I've heard things you won't hear on TV. And I do want to say, I personally feel like what Anonymous is doing, I feel like they are providing a service to, I'm inclined to say the American people, but it's the world.
It's global.
It's global, exactly. And, okay, so I guess a bunch of people going to a website all at the same time is illegal. Okay.
Which is a mind when you consider why that website exists. I mean, doesn't it exist to be seen?
Yeah, just not all at the same time.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I personally feel like, the actions that I've seen over the last few days, I understand why they're doing it, and I appreciate why they're doing it. But I also have to clarify that the Occupy movement, does not condone or endorse any illegal activity.
But you know what they're doing?
What are they doing?
They're making up their own rules as they go along.
I've seen that before.
It's totally fucking unconstitutional.
I think the Constitution is a bit of a joke at the moment.
No, the Constitution itself is not a joke. How it's being interpreted by current people in power, however, is.
Yes, thank you. You're right. Very right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Anyway. Alright, guys, I think I'm going to throw on another song. I think we're about due for a break. So, Rob and Deb, any requests?
I want to bring it to your attention here. Have you noticed the audio problem leveled out?
Yes.
Isn't that weird?
Not
I
really.
bet you when we come back on, how about instead of you muting us, we mute ourselves?
Okay.
And see if that works.
Okay. Rob, can you do that?
Mute yourself, Rob. I know he's been wanting to mute me all night.
I'm not sure how.
Oh, you don't know how? Okay, never mind. Maybe Jack needs to mute us.
Yeah.
Okay. Any requests?
Aww. Do you see what Steve put in chat?
Yes, I love it.
What a wonderful compliment.
That's like one of the most awesome compliments ever. Thank you, Steve.
Yes. That is.
And this is the type of thing I've kind of gotten away from the roundtable discussions. We've been pretty much a music show for a while. And tonight's the first time. While I'm thinking about it, big announcement. Tonight, guys, is the last Sunday night show. Starting next week, we are moving to Mondays. Two reasons. One, my work schedule, as we do this tonight, be at work at 6 a.m. tomorrow. My Monday schedule is kind of set in stone, will not change. I can't get away from it. However, Tuesdays are now my official one of my new days off. So, I talked to Shovelhead Kevin, who had been doing a show called Just Another Show here on blog. He has not done one in forever. I did talk to him, and I told him, I said, if you're looking at making a comeback, I will make Sundays work, but if you're not, I'd like to take Monday night. Yeah, and of course, he's totally cool with it. I've known Kev for like 5 or 6 years. All right, Rob. So, in a nutshell, I'd love to do something on Tuesdays, but Tuesday there's somebody else doing something on blog. I don't want to step on his show, even though he's kind of stepped on mine a little bit. There's nothing going on Mondays. So what I'm looking at...
Oh my God. I was sitting here thinking, who the hell's on Tuesday? Okay. I remember.
Yeah. So,
okay, so Monday nights at 9 Eastern Time?
Right now I'm looking at Monday night, 9 Eastern Time. I might move it back to 8, but right now it's 9. Next week...
I know who's on Wednesday.
Yeah. Yeah, who's on Wednesday night? Some Deb chick, isn't she?
It's that fresh and sleazy woman.
Yeah. She wears El Grandes.
And they fall off.
They fall off her
God,
ass.
Tacky. Tacky.
Tacky. Some people don't have the plastic.
The kitty woman, she's a whole lot of woman.
But anyway, Jody Parker does his show on Tuesday nights here on blog. So what I'm looking at, because Mondays are just not going to continue to be. Sunday nights are just not going to continue to be feasible. And I'll be honest. I know that the flute player guys, Rod and Jim, were talking about somebody that would like to do a show, but they were only available on Sunday nights. And of course, you look up class in the dictionary, you will see a picture of those two. They were like, yeah, well, all right, no, Risky's doing his show on Sunday night. We can't do that. So,
I agree.
There's somebody else that will be available to take this slot if I jump off of it. So, no harm, no foul. And as a matter of fact, I'll let them know, because there was somebody they thought very highly of. And, some flute music on a Sunday night would not be a bad thing. So I will announce on the show when I find out who the hell it was. But tonight is the last Sunday show. Starting next week, I'm moving to Monday, 9 Eastern Time, here on Blog TV, right here on this channel.
Cool.
Which I think might also free up some people that otherwise get tied up on Sunday nights with some other stuff. And after Monday, because Monday sucks, so maybe some music and some cool stuff on a Blog TV show on a Monday night would not be a bad thing. And I think we probably would bring in some new people.
I think you're right. You were asking about music to play while we're on break here.
Mm-hmm.
Someone had asked earlier something about Rob Mazurek. So why don't we maybe break with some Rob Mazurek music?
Let me see if I can, because right now I've got a recorder going. Hold on, I can pause it. If you're listening to this on YouTube, because the previous song was licensed under Creative Commons. This one, on the other hand, not so much. And I really want to promote this musician, but I want you to go find him. Rob Mazurek. Rob, is your website up right now or not? He's typing in the chat, Rob.
Let me check Twitter.
Oh my God. Okay.
No, I don't think he fell into that one.
Okay. It is available. Rob's YouTube username.
Oh, I'm working on it actually, Jack.
Okay. Rob's YouTube username is Disperminator Rob. Which I'll drop a link if you're checking us out on YouTube in the description bar.
They can't blame this on Anonymous.
No.
They didn't do it.
It wasn't me.
Okay, that's it.
But I'm going to pause the recording because of licensing concerns. But you can certainly check out his YouTube page. Just told you where it was, and the description bar is down below. So I'm going to pause the recording now, and I'll take it back up when the song is done. And all right, it says recording. All right, we are back. Next segment, Rob, Mr. Disperminator himself. Tell us about your upcoming CD.
Yeah. Well, I'm still working on the artwork and all that other stuff. And I still got to do the lead tracks on a few songs.
What are we looking at for a release date?
But should be ready by the end of April.
Okay.
And I need to clarify one more time. When can we officially start whining?
The end of April.
I think he told me May.
Yeah, April's good, Deb.
Okay. I will try to refrain from whining.
Now, Rob, I gotta ask you this: how is this one gonna? What is going to be different about this next one as opposed to your last one, which I thought was very well received, out for Walking Through the Dark Side?
Oh, this one's going to be very, very anti-New World Order.
Okay. In what way exactly? What
got
direction?
a bit of a theme to it.
Okay. What direction are you looking at going in with that?
Well, I just don't like the way I see things happening around the world. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, I don't either.
Wow, we are dealing. I'm starting to wonder if we are dealing with some major lag here.
Oh yeah, there's major lag.
Wow. Is it just on your end, or Deb, are you noticing it too?
No, everything is fine here.
See, Rob, they're trying to shut you down already.
I can hear Deb talk about 10 seconds before.
Oh, so it's on my end. Okay. That's weird.
Parker.
Yeah, you could say that.
I'm gonna read that out loud. So he's using the power of a screaming guitar to punch the problems of the world in the junk. Hear, hear.
Oh, that's funny.
I figure if anything, it'll piss them off.
Well, I have been, I've had the privilege of hearing the rhythm track from one that he's working on. It's fabulous. Okay. I love it the way it is, but it's not done.
Well, of course, Mr. Perfectionist.
Exactly. And I'm saying it's fabulous now, but okay. I learned a long time ago that even if it sounds awesome, it's not done till Rob says it's done. And it only gets better. Even when I cannot possibly imagine it being any better, it gets better. It blows me away.
You and me both.
I'm just really picky about my sound. I don't know.
Wow, that's why it's so awesome. You and so many others. That's why the indie music is so incredible.
Hear, hear.
You're calling the shots. You're saying it's
And
right.
I don't have like 20, 10, 10 or $20,000 worth of studio time.
No, you don't have a group of clowns sitting there telling you it's done when we say it's done. It's truly yours, and the finished
Exactly.
product is truly what you envisioned. So it's great stuff.
It makes it awesome. And
Yes.
you know, I've said it before, I'll say it again, I'll say it a million times over. That's why it's an honor to do this. It's truly an honor. And to promote independent musicians, and especially to get to talk to them, you know? It's almost, you know, to me, I'll take this over meeting a movie star or some kind of sports hero any day of the week.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Mhm.
Wow, this lag is
Well, the
killing
nice thing
me.
is you don't have a record executive telling you how they want you to sound.
Yes.
Well, exactly.
Angela! Wow.
I haven't seen you for a minute.
So nice to see you.
Well, it sounds to me like the lag is only on Rob's end. I'm wondering if I should start and restart the call. Do you think that might fix it?
It might. I don't know. Worth a try, I guess.
No, because what I'm thinking is when I started it, I had Rob on video, and then remember it got him kicked off. I'm wondering if that's why he's getting the lag.
Oh, it kicked him off when you brought me on. Yeah, I
Right.
screwed Rob up.
Right, because remember I had the video going.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys think? Should I close it and reopen it?
That's
Okay,
fine
we
with
shall.
me.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and end the Skype call, and then I'm gonna bring you guys right back on. Okay, so
Okay.
stand by. Ending call now, because we're getting some incredible lag, especially on Rob's end there. So I've closed it out. Now I'm going to call it again, and let's see what we have. Joining me
Okay.
via Skype is Deb from the Unsigned Musician Show, and it looks like Rob is back with us as well. Rob, do you still have the lag, or is it gone?
Test 1, 2.
Test 1, 2.
Oh, it's gone.
Cool.
Awesome. Are we cool? We're back in the same time frame. Woohoo! Because it was making me crazy, Rob. I know it had to be driving you
Yeah,
nuts.
great.
Angela, we've been talking about SoCal.
Yeah, that's why I kept pausing when I was talking.
I had the opportunity to talk with her a little bit. Oh God, it's been like within the last week and a half or 2 weeks. She's pretty well up on it too. It's just amazing. This has been a really dangerous piece of legislation, and I'm so glad that it was tabled, but I still don't think it's over.
And that's the important thing. We have to mention the fact that it was tabled. It wasn't killed. It wasn't, it's not going away. It was tabled. And
See,
that's
she
what we
agrees.
have to say is, no, it is not over by any sense of the word. Angela, I 100% agree with that.
Well, then there's that new piece of legislation that they're going to try to sneak into something.
Yeah, and let me, because she wasn't here a bit ago, let me grab and drop that link again. Just so. I hear big floppy ears. Is that Mikey?
No, he's actually in his little bed tonight.
Oh, so is
He
mine
has an
finally.
earache. Oh.
And folks listening to this on YouTube will have no idea
I
what's
couldn't
going on.
resist
I'll
them.
leave it in the dark too. Come check out the damn show.
Yeah, the chat room. You really miss a lot if you're not in chat.
Yeah, you do.
And some things we just do not put on the air.
Right. Ever.
Yeah. Yeah, you just kind of repeat some stuff, you know.
Yeah. That one I'll leave laying in the chat. That one I'll leave hanging out there. Not because there's anything wrong with it, but just because. So Angela, good to see you. Haven't seen you in like freaking forever. Welcome to the show. It'd be your type of show. But like I posted in the chat, the audio will be available on YouTube. I'll just throw a slideshow or something together. So it will be available. Our whole discussion from pretty much start to finish. So you can check it out at your own leisure while you work. And we were just talking about Rob's new album. Looking for a release date in late April. And until then, we can't start nagging him. Rob, do you have like a title for the album yet?
I might be using. I've got two different concepts I'm thinking of, so.
Okay.
Hold on.
So I really shouldn't say anything right now.
Let's try this one.
I may change my mind yet, so.
Okay. Well, fair enough. And to note something else, Parker, yeah, I know, I smoke like a damn choo-choo train.
As I recall, Rob's first CD, originally, the title was going to be Out for Blood.
Mm-hmm.
And we all know when it was released, the title was Walking Through the Dark Side.
Right.
And very appropriate. Aha. Yeah, Parker, I have to wonder what's in those things. I'm sorry, Rob.
I have to say, I get very indecisive until the last minute.
You're allowed to.
It's okay. Yeah, when I quit smoking, I'll put it to you that way. When I quit smoking, it's going to be cold turkey. You guys are going to see me sitting here eating celery sticks.
The e-cigarettes, I've always wondered what is in those.
Well, it can't be much healthier than what we're doing, or much worse than what we're doing to ourselves with the real thing. I mean, really, we know the risk.
I did see an article not too long ago saying that they're not as great as people think. So I guess they're not, without some risk for some people.
Here's the thing with e-cigarettes. People think it's a healthy alternative, and it's not. It's just not as bad. But for me, when I quit smoking, I'm going to quit smoking. And it's going to be this year.
Okay, so you are still taking in nicotine.
Yes. It's just not all the other byproducts that they put in these things.
Not the same. Okay. Oh, they're heavy.
So I couldn't sit with an e-cigarette and do this, basically, is what you're saying?
Maybe if you put a lead weight on it, it would be the same. I don't know. Oh, wow. Heavy, huh?
First and Parker, first real endorsement I've seen of using e-cigarettes ever that I've seen live that wasn't an advertisement. So as for me, it like I said, you guys are gonna see me here with celery sticks. It'll be this year. So if I'm getting kind of punchy in chat rooms, just know. But anyway, so Rob coming out late April. Looking forward to it, really am. And I guess because we're getting kind of close to midnight, guys. I think we might want to think about starting to close out. So I guess I'll go with asking for final thoughts. And Deb, you've had a lot to say tonight, so I'll let you go first.
My final thought is we need to stay on top of all of this legislation, proposed legislation that has been tabled or called something else that's going to be hidden in another bill. We need to follow it. We need to write letters and make phone calls. Let your representatives, your elected officials know that you do not support those bills, and if he wants your vote, he or she will not support it either.
Very well said. Rob, Mr. Quiet, Mr. Clackety Clack of the keyboard.
He couldn't get much in. I was here all night.
Yeah, I think I agree. I agree with Deb that we got to follow it very closely, because I think these guys are going to try and pass it at like something 2 in the morning.
Yeah.
When
They'll slip
nobody's
it
watching,
into
you know.
something enormous like a defense spending bill or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Parker, very good point. Final thought is that we need to make sure people don't get suckered in by this crap just because they put a fancy name on it like the Patriot Act. Here. Our good friend Angela just dropped a link in the chat. I just bookmarked it. I will also have it in the description bar on YouTube. Site called the Library of Congress Thomas, in the spirit of Thomas Jefferson, legislative information from the Library of Congress. They usually send it in the morning. So yeah, I'll drop that in there as well. Just as a random thought, if and I want to kind of narrow it down. Angela, are you interested in joining our Skype chat? Do know that I am recording the audio. And I'll just, obviously for video on YouTube, I'll just throw a slideshow up. If you're interested, I'd love to Skype you in. I think I still have you.
Cool.
That would be fun. And if you're busy, I totally understand, because I know that you're usually multitasking when you come by.
It won't be as fun as the last time we tried this, but I think it'll still be fun.
No,
we
because
might
you
even be able to talk this time.
No, because you're not going to spring a pig on me this time. But oh, she says sure.
Cool.
Sweet.
Awesome.
Okay. We're gonna have a three-way with Angela on Skype. Now let me figure out.
At this point, it turns into a foursome.
Oh yeah, you're right. It does. Okay. Give me 1 second. Add people. Four-way. All right. There's Angela. Angela, just let me know when you're ready. I've already pulled it up on my Skype. I could just hit add. Ready. Alright. Angela, who's known as Emissary here on Blog TV, is going to be joining us via Skype. Yeah, you probably want to mute the Blog TV part of it so that it doesn't feed back on the Skype call.
Hi.
Angela!
Hello.
How's everyone doing tonight?
Great.
How long's the show been going tonight? I missed it.
My usual 9 p.m. Although I did mention it earlier, but this is my last Sunday show. I'm moving to Mondays starting next week.
Okay. Okay, great. That would actually work out better for me.
Not the first time I've heard that, so I think this will be a good move for all of us. So starting next week, there will be no show on Sunday. It'll be Monday night, 9 o'clock Eastern Time. I might move it back an hour, depending. In a nutshell, it's because of my work schedule. I have to be in early on Monday mornings, so the way I see it, I moved to Monday night. I could do my job, come home, grab a nap. I'm ready to go when it's time to do the show, instead of watching the clock going, oh crap, I gotta sleep sometime, you know?
Right, right. The link I had given you guys, there's lots of information you can find out there about what's going on in the House and in Congress. And they'll send you, if you sign up for it, you can sign up for several different things. I've got it signed up to where I receive it before, in the morning, so that I get what their daily schedule is and what their agenda is for the day. And then I can go look at, different bills that they're trying to pass. So they do attach things, and I hate that. I wish they wouldn't do that. I wish they would not try to attach so much to it, because some people want something and then they give up other things. The bills aren't fair that way. I'm talking more than I normally talk.
It's wonderful. Guys, this video came up on Twitter. I don't know how legit it is. The title is War for the White House. Diebold, whoever does the voting machines, accidentally leaks 2012 election results.
Oh boy.
Interesting.
Okay.
I'm going to pop the link here in chat. I don't know how legit this is, but wow.
If you're watching this on YouTube, I'll also have that in the description bar. And given Deb's disclaimer, guys, I will say just check it out and be your own judge.
Yeah, I've not watched it yet, but when you think about
I'm gonna have
a couple other past elections, scary.
Hanging Chads, anyone? Deb, this is not legit. No, it will not be in the description bar because this is on Onion.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's Onion. It's Onion News Network. This is not legit.
Now, what I'm seeing is Rep Freedom Force. Is that Onion?
No, it's Onion. It's Onion News Network.
Okay, then it is bull. All right.
Yeah,
good.
it's because Onion is satire. So no, yeah, I just.
No, I didn't realize that's what it was, because the account name was Rep Freedom Force. I didn't know who that was.
Okay, yeah, it's Onion. Sorry.
Good. Well, I'm glad, because I would hate to think they're trying to steal another damn election.
I wouldn't doubt that, though.
I know, I don't either.
I have a URL I'm going to reduce because I can't paste it. It's too long, and I haven't actually checked this out. I read it, but I was going to look and see if I could find something on it. But let's see. Let me just get it and give it to you.
I gotta say, that was kind of funny.
No, I just pulled it up off of Twitter, and as soon as I saw it, I popped it in there, because I've not watched it either.
Well, people are certainly gonna find themselves getting punked. That's gonna be the new Rickroll. I'm sorry.
The link that I just posted it says the MPAA directly and publicly threatens politicians who aren't corrupt enough to stay bought.
Yes.
I'm looking at that right now.
Yes.
Folks on YouTube, this will be in the description bar.
Angela, have you been keeping up with all of the anonymous activity lately?
Just a little bit of it. I caught something about what happened on Thursday. I didn't see it till Friday night, though. So
they worked hard, very hard.
It sounds like it. It didn't take them long. From what it sounded like, it only took 7 or 8 minutes to take down the Department of Justice website. Is that what you're talking?
Department of Justice, FBI, White House, RIAA, the 4 major record labels, Justin Bieber. Oh my God! I think Department of Defense. They went on a rampage to make a point.
Right.
That this is our internet. It will not be taken.
Right. And I'm impressed and scared at the same time.
Yeah. That's the thing. Everybody says, "Oh, I want to really be nice to these guys, but I'm horrified I'll piss them off, you know? I
Right.
definitely wouldn't want to piss them off, but, you know, they're just people like us.
Yes. They've been labeled terrorists, though, so.
I know. That's kind of funny.
How is it a denial of service? Now, I know what the official explanation is. I'm asking for opinions. How is a denial of service attack a terrorist act?
I don't know. How many people died from that? Any numbers yet?
I haven't heard any.
I haven't either. And I've been trying to stay on top of it.
Yeah.
But
Rob?
Did we lose Rob?
No, not at all.
I think we've got
Almost.
that damn lag again.
Okay.
The Canadian. I'll tell you what it is. They're throttling Rob. Every comment he says is being scrutinized before they let us hear it. I'll bet you. It'll
because
take
it's
10.
Canadian.
Yeah, it'll take him 10 seconds to reply to this. Watch this.
They love me.
Oh, I want to let you guys know. Rob had done this just phenomenal version of the American National Anthem. It was actually a gift when we were doing, I believe it was the Free the Weed Music Fest.
Yeah, it was one of
And
the Free the Weeds.
I used that in a video for Occupy. Well, one of my Canadian friends who I met through Occupy said, wouldn't it be really cool if we had the Canadian national anthem done by the same guy? And I mentioned that to Rob, and the very next day I had it. It's awesome. So I'm going to be putting together another video for our Canadian friends at Occupy Vancouver using the Canadian national anthem. Thank you, Rob. And a couple weeks ago, we were playing the video
Oh, you're welcome, Deb.
that I had made with the American national anthem that Rob recorded. And one of the guys in the chat room asked me if that was Jimi Hendrix. And I had to tell him no, it's not.
Gotta love it. Although
But it's
that is an
damn
awesome kick-ass compliment, I have to say.
Absolutely, it is. The ultimate compliment.
Yeah, it is.
Beautiful. Let me see here.
Cool.
No, Parker, I don't think they're trying to use fear to, guide people to their favor. It definitely commands some respect and a little common sense. You got these keyboard commandos that get on the internet and say ridiculous stuff without giving it any thought. And I do think that it kind of curbs them a little bit. But I'll be honest, that the people that I have dealt with who I believe are affiliated with Anonymous, they've all been really nice people. All of them. They're just regular people, just like us. But there are some morons out there that they get on the computer and they hide behind their keyboard, and all of a sudden, they're brave and they're stupid. But no, fear doesn't make me see things their way. I think what makes me see things their way is the fact that they're taking action to prove a point on behalf of the people. They're showing the lawmakers and the corporate bigwigs that the internet has already been claimed. It has been claimed by the people. And they're not going to take it. There's always going to be people who who are there to reclaim it. And rather than reclaiming it, I think it's, they're getting a step ahead and saying, you're not even going to take it. And if you do, there's going to be some problems. Exactly, Rob. It is kind of a public domain thing, It's been here for years. It has belonged to the people. And all of a sudden, the government wants to take it and control it. And it's partly the government and partly the music industry, the entertainment industry. Who the hell are they to control it?
I'm not sure if I'm right with this or not, but I believe it was the military and the universities that developed the internet, and then they had to turn it over to the people to allow it to be developed. Does anybody know anything?
So the people actually developed it. They took the concept and built on it.
the 1994 thing, about that time when the internet was given to us, to use. We've developed it.
Yes. Actually, it was developed by a group of scientists who needed a faster way to communicate with each other. Come here, baby. Sorry. Cat's looking at me like...
I think it was actually used by the intelligence community first.
You missed that.
Yes.
Jack totally missed that.
What?
You said, "Come here, baby," and I said, "I can't. I'm all the way in Florida."
No, I'm sorry. Brat Cat.
You got that pesky wife hanging around there, don't you?
Do what? Yeah. Well, no. Brat Cat here was like quietly just in her chair for like 2 hours, and then she looked at me. It's like, "No, I want a warm lap now." So now she's here, and she was looking at me, and where I've got my laptop right now is where she usually jumps up into my chair. But she can't because she'll hit her head, so she's looking at me like, move. So I'm skated back.
That won't come on with her El Grandes.
No, I won't. Besides that, Lisa would probably beat my ass, so. Oh, tell her I said hello. I haven't seen her in a long time.
Yeah.
I've been around a long time.
But anyway, no. This is the baby I was talking to.
Oh, see, it wasn't me.
No.
Look
sorry.
at this. Oh my God. The cat thinks she's a child.
But she's not spoiled. She's just well loved.
Oh, not spoiled. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I look at what Anonymous is doing, and I feel like what they're doing is truly for us.
I have to look at it the same way, and see, here's the thing: they will get the negative spin in a heartbeat, and because of look at who they're going after, and because the word terrorist is thrown around so freely. Anytime something goes wrong, it's a terrorist act, and we're taught that terrorism is bad, which it is. But to me, this is not the same. If they took down like websites, like I'll throw out some examples, like WebMD, something that could, somebody could type a question in and potentially save a life. I'll be like, yeah, you know what? Yeah, these guys are assholes. But that's not what they're doing. What they're doing, it is an effort to draw attention to the importance of the internet. And
well, another thing, SOPA wasn't getting that much media attention. But now that there's this domestic terrorism activity,
the news is not going to tell us anything we need to know.
Oh, hell no.
No. And I also, I have to look at these people and think about the risk they're taking, doing what they're doing for us. They're aware that they're being called domestic terrorist. They're aware of severe penalties, yet they do what they do to protect us, to protect our rights, to protect our freedom, and to protect the internet.
I'm curious about Parker, though, and where he sees the evil side, because of other knowledge I have of Anon in the UK, through friends I have in the UK. And I'm just curious what he sees as the evil side.
Well, I can say I'll talk to give him a minute to kind of type out his response.
And
It's like I
gotta
typed in the
realize
chat.
too. You got to realize too that this is a group of people, and yeah, you could piss one of them off, and that one person can react under the name of the entire group. Just like with Occupy, occasionally there are people that are marching, with Occupy
Very good
that
point.
will throw something at a cop. And quite often, in fact, every instance that I'm aware of personally, it has not really been Occupy. It has been provocateurs. Quite often they are planted in the movement or, in the camp for that specific purpose. So I don't really like to, take the actions of one and blame everybody. I could be wrong, but I really don't think I am. Based on the people that, I have had the opportunity to interact with, I don't think I'm wrong. I hope I'm not. Everybody talks about Anon as an organization, but that's not correct. Anon can theoretically be fighting on both sides of the same argument because there is no official order to the group. Occupy has no official order, no official leader, but, they have conflicts within. They have growing pains, but basically they're pretty much on the same page. I mean, there are differences of opinion. I think we all have the same goal. We just have a difference of opinion on how to get there. Anon is simply and literally anyone who acts in a way without giving a name to receive credit. I don't know. I don't know about that. I see things on Twitter that makes me think there is some organization to this group, because otherwise, how could they get that type of response to do what they do? I know some of it can be done, with computer programs, but I think it takes a lot of people power too. And I do think it is an organized effort. A group of people can act as a cell and work together. But if they're acting as a cell, we're not having individuals. There is some organization if it's an actual cell. But any group in Anon is still just an extremely small part of the whole. Oh, that's funny. I don't like the term cell either. It does refer to a terrorist group. And I don't really like them being considered, by our government as domestic terrorists, because I don't really feel like that's terrorism. They don't scare me in a way that I fear for my life. I might fear for my website, but not my life. Okay, small specialized soldiers. Yeah, I don't like the word cell. The government looks at it as
anyone who's oppositional.
Yeah, terrorist. And I don't feel like they are terrorists.
No, I don't see them as being terrorists. And really, what I think comes to the crux of the conversation is that if we are going to classify these guys as being terrorists, then is the definition of a terrorist being redefined, because I define terrorist as somebody who wants to incite terror, fear.
Yeah.
Is a group taking down a website to make a point, trying to incite fear? Maybe not in the general population, but okay, if they're a terrorist, then who is who are they trying to make afraid to sleep at night?
I have to agree with that last comment there, that the government is terrorist. Because
Really gotta wonder.
the NDAA that was signed, and the new one, I can't remember the number, but about losing your citizenship. Just pretty serious.
I'm reading a post on Twitter right now from Representative Dan Gordon. He says, I see football scores, stats, and predictions heavily reported by the mainstream media. NDAA, not so much. Almost like it's a secret. Blackout. Yeah.
No, you don't hear about it, and unless you're news savvy, and you know what? I'll say it. If you really want to know the truth, or at least the other side of the story, go to AlJazeera.com. Now, of course,
Get
I
on
think
the internet.
Yeah.
But oops, they want to take that away.
yeah, because a site it goes right back to the crux of the beginning of the conversation we started 3 hours ago.
Yep.
Control of the internet, and they will find some way to do it under whatever guise, and
You know,
that's the bottom line.
You could say paying your income tax would be a terroristic. I mean, if you don't pay your income tax, then you could be locked up for tax evasion or. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing.
oh, now here's a message to Anonymous on Twitter. Hey, Anonymous, take down Fox News. Pretty please? So apparently, there are some people who do not appreciate Fox News. Gonna go out on a limb there with that one and take a wild guess.
Just a guess.
Oh, that's funny.
But
Yeah.
you know that would be a good way to get it reported, because they'll still have their channel. Our website is down. How would they explain that? Anonymous, a terrorist, and again, them terrorists done come get us again.
You know, it's funny because I was talking to a friend of mine the other night about Anonymous, and he said he described them as a bunch of what many people would call computer nerds, geeks, whatever. You know, they're computer freaks. They know their stuff. And there was a time when, being a computer geek or nerd or whatever was not a cool thing, but we all know that's totally different now, because everybody that has a computer wishes they had one for a friend. But it's hard for me to look at these people and think, they sit there playing with computers all the time, and they're terrorists.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing it. I see terrorists as people bombing and, contaminating the food supply and stuff like that. But playing with computers.
Yeah, I don't see somebody. I'm sorry. I cannot classify it in the same way, but yet that is how they are classified. It's an act
Is
of
a denial of
terrorism.
service on Justin Bieber's website an act of terrorism?
I don't see
Really?
it that way. As a matter of fact, I see it as an act of charity. But
Exactly. And, if you go to the White House website or the Department of Justice website, are you really going to find anything there that could be detrimental to the country on their freaking website? I don't think so.
I would hope the hell not.
That's where they put the crap they want people to see. So I'm failing to see the terrorism part of this myself. Okay, Parker says a terrorist is anyone who uses fear to influence an outcome in their favor. Well, I don't see where causing a website to crash really induces fear.
I'm not losing any sleep because whitehouse.gov is down. Sorry.
Ha! Rob says an act of terrorism is Justin Bieber putting out music.
And Rob is on a Skype call. He could say that to us. What are you doing, dude?
He can't get a word in. That's why, because I want to shut up.
No, I've got that delayed there, Jack.
Still?
Yeah.
Someone who interferes with commerce.
Damn it, I thought we fixed that. Sorry, man. We tried.
Wow. I didn't know that. A terrorist is someone who interferes with commerce.
So it's one of these loosely defined definitions that, frankly, you know what? We promote independent musicians. We interfere with the commerce of the mainstream music industry. Deb, I hate to say it, you and I are terrorists.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look out the window tonight. The black Suburban with the blacked out windows will be there. Bunch of guys in sunglasses need to come with us. And you know how people just suddenly disappear? Nobody knows whatever happened to them.
So you guys are mainstream music terrorists.
Yes, we are mainstream music terrorists. I am triple locking my door right now.
Okay.
That sweet little cat. I have to train her to attack anybody wearing black, which is gonna suck because I have to wear a black shirt to work. So I gotta haul ass in the morning. And then my cat's a terrorist cat because I'm gonna train her to go after these guys. Really? I'm babbling, but you see how ludicrous this is?
Illegal internet streaming could be upgraded to felony by Senate. Hold on. I would need to know more definition on this.
Gio just popped into the chat. Hello, Gio. Good to see you.
Here's the link.
Hi, Gio.
Alright, Deb just dropped the link. If you're listening to this on YouTube and you've made it through 3 hours, congratulations. And yes, the link will be in the description bar. Senate bill upgrades illegal internet streaming to a felony.
Individuals who live stream content over the internet illegally would face up to 5 years in prison under provisions in a new Senate bill that would make illegally streaming copyrighted material a felony. Gee, doesn't this sound a lot like SOPA?
Yeah. Senators Amy, I'm going to put the names out there if I can pronounce it. Amy Klobuchar, John, that name's familiar, John Cornyn, and Christopher Coons have proposed. Now, I'm not doing good on pronouncing the last name, but John Cornyn, isn't he on, oh my god, one of the RIAA sock puppets?
It sounds very familiar to me.
Oh yeah,
yes, let me get my little...
Get your spreadsheet, he's on there.
This is from May of last year, though.
Hello, Ding and the Gong. Okay, this just came across Twitter. Put it on Twitter.
Distributing copyrighted materials is already a felony, but a number of legal questions have questioned whether live streaming violated the laws. Many argue that live streaming is a public performance rather than illegal distribution. This debate has sparked legal questions. The Senate bill would curtail the debate by specifying that live streaming is distribution and therefore felony violate of copyright law. Yes,
I wonder if any of those people mentioned in that article are any of the ones who have backed off from this SOPA bill since Thursday, because a lot of them have stepped away from it.
Oh no, they didn't step away; they ran away.
Yeah.
They hauled ass with their tail tucked between their legs, and the report asked Congress to ensure that the Department of Justice and U.S. law enforcement agencies are able to effectively combat infringement involving new technology. The new bill abides by the White House requests. Under the proposed legislation, live streaming more than 10 copyrighted items. Oh, does this sound familiar? 10 copyrighted items in any 180-day period where the total retail value could top $2,500 or the licensing costs would have topped $5,000 would be classified as felony copyright infringement.
Oh, here we go again.
Yep.
That's SOPA, yeah.
Yep.
Steven says, let's be real. Nobody gives a crap about me or you and the ideas of law. It would take a good amount of money, more than I have, to enforce that SOPA. It is reserved for the megacorps and the rich. Well, the thing with music is all you need is for the RIAA or BMI or ASCAP to come along and say, oh, that's a cover song. And innocent until proven guilty is a joke. Absolute joke.
Steve, more to the point, the number I talked about earlier is absolutely true. $64,000 per $1,000 collected under the lawsuits, even the Napster thing, okay? So, they don't care about money. So, okay, we're talking just the RIAA on that one. You guys know damn well that the government really doesn't care how they spend our money. Bottom line.
I've just really gotten into Twitter here lately, and there's some interesting stuff that comes across there.
Apparently. Goddamn, that was pretty freaking good itself. I wonder, though, since that is an old article, did it pass?
Well, it's a SOPA thing. I'm sure that's SOPA, because that's exactly what SOPA was doing.
Yeah.
Or intended to do.
Yeah.
Jack, you are seeing the May 18th, 2011 published date. That's what you're seeing, that, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they took whatever, I guess this bill failed, so they integrated their favorite pieces of it into SOPA, is what I'm thinking. Without more information at my disposal, I can't say for sure.
Yeah, or it could have been this was part of the foundation for it.
Could
But
be.
I don't really know who, I have read who sponsored the bill, and I don't even remember who it was. My head's been spinning ever since the first time I read it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is an old one, but that is SOPA. That's what they were describing.
Yep. Almost same thing. Okay, right down to the streaming.
Yeah.
The same thing. Same exact thing. Live streaming more than 10 copyrighted items in a 6-month period. That's almost word for word.
Yeah. SOPA.
Yep.
Sure enough. But it's not over. It's tabled, which
But
means we need to stay on top of
Mhm.
it. and
It is
ready to
not
sell.
done. It is not even close to done. Not even in the same zip code as done.
Have either of you heard anything about the Open Act? I'm just learning about it, and so I don't know a lot about it.
New one on
What is
me,
that?
Deb.
No.
Um,
not at all.
All right, Angela, go ahead.
I'll just give a link. Because I haven't read up on this, and I just was hearing bits and pieces of it today, and I was researching it now. So I can find another one.
The
Okay.
web open. Ooh, I like.
Like that one so far myself. I love the web address. And again, if you're listening to this on YouTube, the link, along with many others, will be in the description bar. You know, to coin a phrase, free your mind, your ass will follow.
Okay, this is at keepthewebopen.com.
I'm going to give another link here. I'll have to shorten it as well.
Oh, so much to read. Oh, it's really sad. The people who vote on these bills, I don't even think they actually read them.
No, they don't. Do you? Yeah, okay, when you're at work, if somebody hands you a report that's 1,024 pages long, do you really read it? No.
No, I ask them, what the hell is this?
Mm-hmm.
Fill me in.
Yep. And that's what these guys aides do. So,
Yeah, and
you think the aides read the damn thing? Hell no.
Steven said they often admit they didn't read them.
No.
I agree.
Yeah, they admitted they didn't read the health care bill. Great example right there.
Meet the Open Act. Boy, they are trying hard. This is like, I think, 4th different name that we've had for it.
Mm-hmm.
We need to make a big list of who all these guys are that are behind this and send them packing. Same thing with the ones who voted for NDAA.
Mm-hmm.
Time to clean house.
Yes, it's been time to clean house. And, you know, I hate to go on a news talk style rant, but you know what? I'm going to go news talk on you guys for a minute. You know what? If they've been in office more than 2 terms in the Senate and 12 years in the House, because they are 12-year terms, I don't care how much you like them. I don't care how nice they were when you met them, when you just ran into them at the gas station or at the grocery store or in the drugstore or wherever. If they shook your hand and said, "Yes, hi, how are you? It's nice to meet you," because they're still playing the game. And it's a big freaking game. Anybody who has been an incumbent more than 2 terms in the Senate, more in the House, it's time to say bye-bye. The framers of the Constitution did not mean for these clowns to be able to make a career out of it. Bottom line. They didn't mean for that. They meant for them to move up to the next level, okay? Senate is above the House. So, representatives, the best ones, should have been elected to the Senate. The best ones out of that should have potentially moved on to the presidency and or been appointed to the Supreme Court. This country was founded by lawyers, so lawyers kind of look out for each other. And that's really how the system should work. We should not have the representative from Hawaii who's been there since the fucking 50s. Give me a break.
Byrd.
Yeah.
Senator Byrd.
Byrd. Yeah, another one. Ted Kennedy, God rest his soul. He did a lot of good things, but you know what? He was still a game player. They shouldn't be there for decades.
Eternity, yes.
Yes. It is not. It was not. The Constitution was not written for these guys to have these jobs as a lifetime appointment. The election
with lifetime benefits at our expense.
Exactly.
While they cut hours.
Exactly. It was not meant to be an appointment. It was meant to be an election. And if you have somebody there who's not quite doing the job for the country as well as your district or your state, vote them out. Somebody who's elected in their place can't do any damn worse. I mean, look at the mess. Give me a break. Really? You know what? I have a different view than a lot of people because, oh, okay, I'll say it. I have a typical Washingtonian's view of Congress because I live here. And I'll tell you another thing. These guys who are such nice guys when they're in the home districts, they're dickheads here. I'll grab a freaking camera. I'll record some video. I'll show you how they really are. They're not.
They're a bit arrogant and better than everyone else.
Oh, they'll park a fucking car wherever and don't care and get pissed off when they get ticketed. Give me a break. You know, they act like movie stars, and a lot of people make fun of the way that movie stars are, you know, treated with deference in Hollywood. The same damn thing happens in DC. If you don't believe me,
yeah, that's exactly what it is. They think they're freaking rock stars.
Yeah, vote them out.
The rock star mentality.
Really, if things are not better for you than they were when you first put them in office, it's time to vote them out.
Get rid of them, clean house.
Yes.
Get is saying no one votes. Yes, people do vote. A lot of people vote, and it's more important than ever right now to vote.
Yes.
No more Supreme Court judges. I feel like we do need Supreme Court judges.
We do. We need them. The way the system is supposed to work is that you do need that body of government that can govern the idiots. Especially the current set of Supreme Court judges, more or less, have stopped a lot of nonsense laws.
Well, on the local level, too, you get a lot of good old boy syndrome.
Yes, you
And
do.
taking it up to a higher court where, not everybody knows everybody involved, and the attorneys aren't out playing golf with the judge, it can have an impact. So I
Yes.
feel like they are necessary. Gid says, I think if they take a week off, if they take off a week at a time, they shouldn't get paid that week. I think their pay should be docked just like ours. Yes,
Yep.
I think they should have the same crappy benefits that we get.
Here's the thing. At my job, after I crossed my 5th year anniversary, I get 3 weeks off and 1 week's worth of sick time, and that's it. I think the same should apply to them. I actually agree with that. Geo says everyone should push for accountable, transparent voting systems in their states and counties. Here, here.
And you know what's funny? When I started hosting the Unsigned Musician Show, I never in my wildest dreams thought that music would lead me into a political conversation,
Who would
political
think, right?
environment. Oh my God.
And here's the thing. I came into internet broadcasting doing a political show. I never imagined doing a show about indie musicians. I would still be doing it. So yeah, I'm with you.
Thank you, Gio. Yeah, I never thought that, this would. In fact, when I started doing my show, I swore that it would never get political. I didn't want politics discussed in relationship to my show and my chat room. That was not about politics, it was about music.
As a matter of fact, you bagged it for a couple of weeks during the election because you were afraid it would, didn't you?
No, I didn't really bag it, but...
No, it was Blog Talk Radio. You turned off the chat.
Yes, I did. I killed the chat because I didn't want it getting political, because the show wasn't about politics. It was about indie music, and it is.
Yes.
But when I realized that how political it is and how much the music industry has invested in buying our politicians and swaying their votes for the big boys while stomping all over the indies, it's very, very political.
Yep.
Yes, I agree, Gio. The time is now for more of us to be involved in politics. I totally agree.
Yeah. And just know what's going on.
Angela just made a good point, too.
And Angela's on a Skype call. Why didn't she just say it?
Because I won't shut up.
Hey guys, we're kind of coming up on 12:30. I have to be up and ready for work in 3 hours, so I'd love for us to kind of close this out. So I asked for this once, so this will be the second round of closing thoughts. Angela, you go first.
I think we just have to stay informed. We have to keep reading. We have to keep researching, and we have to watch what they're doing. Every little bit. Get signed up to the daily report from Congress and look at the laws, the bills that they're putting through.
Yeah. Know what's going on. Nobody cares about the entertainment industry. Well, people seem to care, otherwise it wouldn't be a popular topic in modern media. But the fact of the matter is that there are things that you really need to know.
And one other thing, we cannot let the the entertainment industry take over the internet, because it would be totally fucked if they did.
We would have nothing but Justin Bieber music,
yeah.
Britney,
and
fake
commercials.
news.
And commercials.
Yes.
Yes.
And fake news.
Fake news.
Yes.
All right.
GovTrack.org. Thank you. And Thomas. Thank you, Gio.
Yes.
Yes.
So, all right, Rob, final thoughts. Yeah, he's on the lag.
Well, I totally agree with Angela. I think you got to stay on their ass and just watch everything that they do.
Yeah. And Deb, you've had a lot to say tonight, so the last one is yours.
I totally agree with what Angela said. That's it. Stay on top of it. Vote. Do something about it. But make sure you know what you're voting for. Follow the money. Find out who owns your candidate, who bought your candidate, and vote accordingly.
Here. There's nothing I can add to that at all. Nothing.
He just wants to get the hell out of here.
No, there's really nothing I can add to that. So, before I kill the sound recording, I want to say, Deb, Rob, Angela, thank you so much for Skyping in. I really do appreciate it. Awesome show tonight, and it wouldn't have happened without you guys. So thank you very, very much.
Thanks, Jack.
Thank you.
Good night.
Thanks, Jack.
Thank you. Thank you.
Been a good conversation, that's for sure.
One hell of a chat.